Gary Rhodes, you're too thin, and move over Antonio Carluccio and make room for two fat ladies.
Grab that crab, Clarissa. Eat that meat, Jennifer. Why doesn't that pheasant look pleasant? Fasten your taste buds for gastronomic ride, cause us two fat ladies are itching to get into your kitchen. Yeah! Oh, yes.
Look, Jennifer, there's Mevagisset.
It's charming. I do love this part of Cornwall.
The restaurant's in a perfect position, on the quay, practically in the water.
Well, we'll make some glorious fish dishes with the sea right on our doorstep. There we go.
Well,
We're here.
Here we are, the shark's fin.
The shark's fin. What a lovely name.
Well, there are lots of sharks around here, apparently.
Not such a lovely thing.
No,
Don't like them at all. Yuck.
they're quite good eating, though.
But they're excellent. Look rather like swordfish or something like that. But I think they're very, very evil fish.
Do you know, when I was in Singapore, there was a man who had a shark and sort of got its teeth around the top of his head all the way round.
Charming.
And he used to wear a hat, and he'd charge you 10 Singapore dollars, and he'd take his hat off, and you would see these tooth marks all the way around the top of his head.
Wonderful.
Right, now let's just dump our stuff and go out and get some good raw material.
Now, this is a nice little harbour.
Isn't it pretty?
Yeah.
Lots of fish, I hope. Dear old bite, done us well.
Lovely creature. Keep well.
There's all these pretty boats. It's so nice, isn't it? That guy in the blue smock looks proper.
Certainly know about their nets, don't they? Like weaving gossamer.
Isn't it?
Good afternoon.
Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Hi.
We're standing in and doing some cooking for John and Audrey at the Shark's Fin, and we wanted to buy some fish.
Ah, we've sold out to the market. But
Hold on.
the chap over there, Andrew, in the blue boat there, he'll probably help you out with some fresh fish. He's only just arrived in. So.
Okay, good. Ahoy the boat!
Are you Andrew?
Yes, that's right.
Oh, hail. Those men up there told us you've just got a fresh catch.
Yes, that's right. I've got ling, pollock, cod, coley, some John Dory and a red mullet.
Oh, lovely John Dory.
Some Peter's fish.
With the thumb marks there. They're absolutely delicious, aren't
The
they?
thumbprints
Yes, very
of
nice.
St. Peter.
Thumbprints of St. Peter, but I don't think... Every many of them?
2 or 3, that's all.
No, I don't think... I think I'd like a coley, please, to make
Yeah,
a
certainly.
pie.
Sure. What about that one?
Splendid fellow. Like a bloody great mermaid, isn't it?
There you go.
Stay still. That's wonderful. That'll feed a lot, won't it?
Absolutely. Very popular in Shetland, those. They split them and smoke them on a peat fire, and then they hang them up in the rafters, and the phosphorescence is so bright you can read by them.
What a wonderful thing to have in case of a power cut.
Right, you all right with that?
Yeah, so what do you want?
Oh, I want some monkfish. Have you got any monkfish?
No, I'm afraid not.
Oh.
If you see the yellow boat over there,
Yeah.
that's a monk netter.
Oh, right,
That chap
okay.
might be able to help you out.
It's a what? A monk netter?
Yes.
Let's go to a monk netter. I love seeing sort of an expert at it.
I know. Ugh, look at that.
Wonderful.
Devilfish.
It really is a monster, isn't it?
You are one lovely fresh monk pale.
Isn't that lovely?
Right.
I can get you in the bucket. That's
It's-
great.
It's for the shark's fin.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, thanks a lot. See
Hey,
you
not a
again.
problem. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bit better than your supermarket fish, that.
Supermarket. You wouldn't find this in the supermarket.
Isn't it beautifully fresh?
Yes. Not a smell on it. Now, everybody loves a fish pie, don't they? I mean, I don't know anybody who doesn't. But I want to use coley, because no one uses coley, and it's a very fine fish indeed. Some people think it's only for cats, but it's not. It's a wonderful flaky fish. Ask any fisherman, they're very proud of it. So I'm using coley mixed with smoked haddock, because that gives a good flavour. And I like, at the bottom of the dish, I've already prepared it, some cooked buttered spinach. It's a nice surprise to find at the bottom, and it goes very well. But first, to mix them all together, I must go and make a bechamel.
What I'm going to cook is a monkfish tail, a gigot of monkfish. A gigot is the French for a leg of lamb, or indeed the Scots, they call it a gigot. And you can see the shape of it is rather like the shape of a leg of lamb. And I'm going to lard it with anchovies. You'll probably know about larding because it's normally something you do with game or other very dry meats to put moistness through them. And this is my larding needle. Look at my nice larding needle.
It's a wonderful weapon.
I know, stick it in the burglar. And if you haven't got one, then you just use a sharp knife with a point on it. And so you just make a hole, you see? Make a hole in. And then you tuck your anchovy in and just keep pushing it in patiently. It's all very well to have fast food, and you need it in this day and age, but now and again it's nice to do things sort of slowly and gradually.
Very good for the busy businessman to come home and make a serious meal. It will calm them down no end. In fact, I do know some who do. They come home and they settle down and cook a proper dinner. And they find it relaxing, you know, after the ghastly things they do in the city with stocks and shares and destroying each other's reputations.
And now I've larded my monkfish, I'm going to put rosemary around it. It's a lovely combination, rosemary and monkfish, very unusual. You tuck it all underneath. Lots of it, lots and lots of rosemary. Very good with fish, rosemary. And this monkfish tail has already been marinated in lemon juice and olive oil, just to moisten it, because it's quite a dry fish.
Very Italian.
Very Welsh.
Yeah, Welsh head Italian.
Yes, well, I dare say they probably didn't get it from each other. And then I'm just going to pour a little more oil over it, and a little more oil over the rosemary, because it's the essential oils of the rosemary that needs to be brought out. Do it in contact with oil or fat, and there's no indigenous fat in the monkfish.
I love that smell that rosemary produces.
So do I. Very good with pike. And there we are, all ready to bung in the oven.
Beautiful.
See you in a tick.
I'll assemble my pie.
Very good.
I want to put my fish into my bechamel. There goes the haddock. There go my lovely flakes of coley, which has been slightly poached. And I'm going to put in a good slurp of lovely anchovy essence, which is one of my most favourite old-fashioned essences, and brings out the flavour a treat in any fish pie or anything like that. You can see we're rather fond of anchovy. It's a very good thing because the taste of anchovy sort of disappears. It just produces a fine flavour. Stir that in. There, that's a lovely mixture. And we'll put it all on. There we go. Smooth it over. Now, prawns. Prawns for treats. Try and put these in sort of evenly so everybody gets a fair share. Just over the top. Now we must put the potato on the top. Yeah, this will be enough for a regiment. You can feed a good hungry family, or just friends. Why not friends? Now then, we'll make it into a herringbone shape. Some go that way, some go that way. Like that good tweed made of cold herringbone. Ready for the oven. And that's about it.
Very good. And I'm going to make a hot tomato vinaigrette to go over the monkfish. In here I've got just more than twice as much oil as I've got vinegar, some salt, some pepper, and just heat it through. It's very good either with fish or with poultry, a hot vinaigrette. And then I'm going to put the tomatoes in. And stir it. You don't want the tomatoes to fall apart. They're quite finely chopped. You just want to heat them through.
Look what I found!
Oh, well done, dear. Just in time.
That's wonderful.
All I have to do is pour it over the top.
Splatter, splatter. Looks like jewels spread across it.
That's right. Look at that. Mwah. Before John and Audrey went away, they said we could get crabs and lobsters from someone called Lawrence. He's a fisherman with a green boat who's usually around here.
Oh, that'd be great. But I want to get scallops.
Scallops. They don't have scallops here, but they've got them at Foy. They dive for them at Foy.
That's not very far.
No, so we can have them sent over. That's not a problem. And there's lots of mussels on the beaches around here. Do you
That'd
think
be nice.
we could go and, go and gather some?
Gather some. Gather us mussels while we may.
Indeed. I wonder if that's him there.
The kneeling man.
That's right. Hello, are you Lawrence?
Are you Lawrence?
Yes.
Oh, great.
Clarissa and Jennifer. John and Audrey said, from the Shark's Fin, said that we could get crabs and lobsters from you. Is that right?
Not at the moment, no, but I'm going to see in about 2 hours' time.
Can we come with you?
Can if you like, yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to. Love to see.
The last time I was down here, there was a beach, not very far, had lots of mussels on it, which we went and picked. Where would that be, do you know?
Garnhaven, Hammock.
Hammock, that's it.
Oh, they're about 3 miles.
Right.
We could do that and then return to you.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
2 hours' time by the lighthouse.
Lovely.
Lovely.
See you later.
Right, cheers.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, all the best.
What a sweet fellow.
Isn't he nice?
Yeah. It looks murky and wet out there.
Do you think we should put our wellies on?
I certainly do. We'll get soaked otherwise. Poor wet feet.
Look, lots.
We got snails as well.
Winkles, periwinkles.
Periwinkles. Are they pretty, these blue?
Aren't they? Aren't the rocks lovely too? They're probably a bit small to serve in the restaurant, don't you think?
Yes, too small. They'd be too much trouble. But they'd be delicious. We can eat them.
Yeah, we could go and have a cook-up for us. Yeah, everybody's used to these sort of big horrid ones. No?
Yeah, there are terrible ones that are farmed, which are really disgusting. Great white flesh.
Oh, you mean the green-lipped ones or whatever they're called?
I don't know. Green-lipped is a terrible thing to say, isn't it? I'm so cold I can hardly get these off.
I think I've probably got enough now. Maybe it's just going to be for us. So shall I go back and start getting the fire started and cooking up and things?
Yes, I'll try and get a few more.
Okay, right. Well, I'll see you back up there.
Okay.
You've been picking them in your helmet.
Yes, it's a great mistake. It'll stink.
They need washing?
No, I rinsed them in the rock pool.
Oh, good. Well done. What you got there?
Not many.
Oh, well, no, we got enough. It's only for us, after all.
Marinier and how? What have you put in already?
Well, I melted the butter and I softened the shallot, and then I just put some parsley and some wine in and brought it up. Now we wait.
Perhaps I ought to put my helmet on the top of the saucepan.
Oh, what a brilliant idea. Yeah, that's very good.
Don't know what it'll do to the helmet.
Well, it's all in a good cause, Jennifer. Yes, all in a good cause. Wow.
They must be crazy. Extraordinary.
They're very tasty, aren't they?
Yes, they're small but delicious.
Oh, look, here's one that's broken.
Sweet.
I'll sling that. Have to be so careful, don't you?
You must be, yes, otherwise its cholera will run.
Right, well, You finish those up and I'll start packing up. Otherwise we'll be late for Lawrence.
To the lighthouse! I hope the weather clears up for the trip. Right.
Well, we're here.
Watch the exhaust pipe, it might be hot.
Yeah.
Now, where are our delicious fishermen? Hey, Lawrence! Where
There
you
you are.
at?
Hey, morning, ladies, how are you?
Fine, how are you?
Dead on time, aren't we?
How are you, Trevor?
All right.
Life jackets, ugh.
Nanny government. Thank you. Thank you.
Lovely, thanks very much.
Lace up my corsets, Trevor.
God, it's like a walking duvet.
I feel like a Dalek. Dum, dum, dum.
I hate to tell you, Debbie, you look like one and all. Fall into the arms of Lawrence.
Oh, Lawrence.
Take it away.
Whoops.
Hey, all aboard. That lovely smelly fish.
Bait. Crab bait.
Here we go. Give us a sea shanty, Jennifer.
Oh, hey, little fishy, don't cry, don't cry. Oh, hey, little fishy, don't cry, don't cry. That was the song Spencer Tracy sang in Captain's Courageous. We'll start bowling soon. I'll come and see Armada.
Captain, aren't they sleeping down below?
I'm having the pleasure of cooking scallops with leeks and flavoured with some white wine and vermouth. Clarissa's going to do something quite different.
I'm going to do crab for my seafood dish. Crab, corn and coriander fritters. I'm going to clean this crab. To take the claws off. This is a whole crab which has just been boiled. And everybody thinks that there are large chunks of the crab that are poisonous and that you can't eat, which is a complete fallacy. The only bit, as you'll see when I open it, that you can't eat are the dead men's fingers, which you wouldn't want to eat anyway. These horrible bits that look like used latex or I don't know quite what. And you really wouldn't want to eat those. I mean, there'd be no temptation at all. So I'm going to get all the meat fiddled out of this bit. There's a lot of meat in here. It's a very good job to give to your 10-year-old children. I remember when we were children all sitting around with skewers fiddling out the bits of crab. It was great fun. But anyway, whatever, it's going to take me a bit of time because I haven't got any 10-year-old children. So, Jennifer, do you want to get on with yours for the moment?
Yes, well, my leeks are practically ready because I thought I'd get them out of the way. Simmer them with just 8 spoonfuls of water until they become sort of almost like pale green spaghetti. And we'll keep them aside and we'll get on with the scallops. When you first buy them, this is what they'll look like, which may frighten you. But if you ask your kind fishmonger, he'll remove all that for you. But he probably won't do it all, and you'll end up with this charming little fellow, and he'll have this little bit of black here, which is a bit of intestine, I think, really. It doesn't do anybody any harm, but we'll remove that. And a pair of scissors is quite an easy thing, useful, you know, you can just snip it off. And that peel it away, you see, like that. An ounce of butter in there. And we have some nice little chopped shallots. These have got to melt, get soft, because you don't want them sort of feeling al dente in the sauce. But it doesn't take long, it doesn't take very long. There we are, now we'll add half a glass of wine, white wine. Whoosh. And some vermouth, dry white vermouth, which gives a very good flavour. And I like having vermouth around because I'm not tempted to drink it, but it's very good for cooking. Now we'll put the scallops in. Separate the coral from the white bit. There's a beautiful one. That's a wonderful colour. Look at
Oh,
that.
isn't that glorious? Yes.
You now come to a simmer. They take about 2 minutes. Don't overcook them. It's better they're better raw than overcooked. So then when they're done, I'm going to press the juice out from the leeks and put that in the bottom of the pan. And then we get the scallops and we take them out and we put them all on top. Look how beautiful they are. With that pale, pale green and the coral. Lovely. Now we can have our fun. Making the sauce. Always fun. Get this hot again. And we want the juices from the leeks as well into there. We want to reduce this so you can bubble away like mad. Now I've got a lovely bowl of Cornish cream, and we'll add that. This is nice and rich. I like rich food. None of this nonsense about yogurt instead of cream. Yogurt is not instead of cream. Yogurt is very good for your breakfast, or if you have a poor tummy, or if you're a vegetarian or something. But for cream, there is nothing better than cream. Nothing better than cream. It's unctuous, it's rich, and it collects everything together. And you can't beat it. That's all bubbled and a bit thick.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
Now we just pour it all over our dish.
Look at
Isn't that pretty?
Isn't that very pretty?
Yes. And just to finish it off, we'll put some parsley. There, she's beautiful. She's beautiful.
Oh.
Fit for a king.
It does look wonderful.
I'll just take it through and I'll come back and get rid of my mess.
Right, well, I'm just going to finish stripping off the corn. This is the last of the 6 ears of corn. And you just cut down the ear. All you need is a sharp knife. It's really very simple. You may think that it's easier to use a tin or frozen corn, which of course you can if you haven't got the real thing, but actually I think the real thing is a lot sweeter and nicer. I've already stripped the other ones and put them with the brown and the white crab meat into this bowl. Pour that in. And now I'm going to add to it some crushed garlic, a couple of cloves crushed garlic, some onion, some fresh coriander, lovely green fresh coriander, and I'm also going to use some ground coriander, which is not the same thing, because in fact ground coriander is coriander seeds ground up. And if you use the both, you just get more of the flavour of coriander through it. And some salt and pepper to season. And then 3 eggs, which I'm just going to break into this bowl and lightly whisk together. And I'll pour that in. And now I'm going to mix in some flour, not all at once, but in 3 bits, so you mix it through thoroughly each time. And use your hands. I mean, I think I had a deprived childhood. I wasn't allowed to make mud patties or something. And so now this mixture needs to rest in the fridge and chill for half a day. I mean, you can obviously, if you're in a hurry, leave it for less, but the longer it stays there, the better it cohedes and the easier it is for frying. And then when it is cold, you just want to mix it around together one more time in case it's separated out a bit. And now I'm ready to fry it.
Oh, I'm the kitchen fairy. Just a moment. All done, all done. A waft.
The real kitchen fairy.
I'm longing to see this.
Mmm. Well, I've got some oil here, which I'm going to put into the pan. Just ordinary cooking oil, you know, sort of ground
Nice old
nut.
pan.
Yeah, I love these old pans. The heavier the better, really, these pans. You want to get it nice and hot. Right, so you make a 2-inch sort of pate of it. Squish
Lovely
it all
mess.
together, isn't it? Mud
Yeah.
pies again. You drop a bit of corn in to see if it's hot, you see, and it sizzles up like that. And then you just drop it into the pan and leave it to fry. What you mustn't do is turn it over too quickly. You must let
No.
it cook underneath.
They're like little rock cakes.
I know, isn't it? There's that. Wipe my hands on.
That's not for you to wipe your hands on.
Is it not? What is it for?
That's my oven cloth.
Well, I'm very sorry about that. I made a right old mess of it now.
Dirty.
It's supposed to be proof that you love somebody but prepared to stand over a hot stove for hours frying up little cakes for them.
Never mind, get on with it.
Yes, Jennifer. Right. So, and you just keep going till they're done, really.
Yeah.
You know?
And pop them in the oven to keep warm.
Pop them in the oven to keep warm, absolutely. These crab cakes are delicious as a starter with a salsa or a squeeze of lime.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Serve a good, robust red wine with this fish pie, not white.
This monkfish makes a wonderful dinner party dish served with spinach and a gratin of potatoes.
A good crust of bread is all you need with these scallops.
Oh, what a long day. I'd forgotten how exhausting running a restaurant is.
It's a feat, it's that standing all the time. I think my feet were bound as a child, they've never recovered. I've put the papals on.
So wise, dear.
Yeah, so, never mind, I think it was a great success. So, there we are, dear, here's to your beautiful eyes.
Oh, and yours, dear, and yours.
Boing.
Gin, gin. Further information about these recipes can be found on CFAX, page 612.
Next tonight on BBC Two, A Brush with Danger. Changing rooms in just a moment.
Grab that crab, Clarissa. Eat that meat, Jennifer. Why doesn't that feather look pleasant?
Fasten your taste buds,
For gastronomic ride
because us two fat ladies are itching up.
to get into your kitchen. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Is the River Clyde in Gloucestershire?
Oh, my dear, I don't know. Don't ask me things like that. You're the map reader.
Glasgow? Oh, got the wrong ruddy map.
Where are we now that we need it?
It'll be all right. Just drive. Oh, my God!
Heavens!
Good Lord, Jennifer, what are we going to do about this?
I don't know. I think we just have to let things take their course.
Look, there's the shepherd.
Steady.
Hello?
Steady.
Ho, gentle shepherd!
Hello, we're trying to get to Weston Burt School. Is that near here?
Up here and follow the sign on the left, about 2 miles.
About 2 miles, not far then.
Not far, no.
These are magnificent creatures, aren't they, with their lovely black faces?
Very plump and juicy. Do you think one would fit in a sidecar?
I think it would be rather a tight squeeze.
Be very difficult to get it in.
Very, very difficult indeed, yes.
Is it all right if I start the engine?
Certainly, yes.
We're
yeah,
frightened.
They're all right. No, they're very social.
Thank you very much for
All
your
right,
direction.
That's sweet of you,
Have a
thank
good
you.
All right.
I do admire the way they follow you.
Oh, they follow me. Sheep always follow a good shepherd, Ballum.
I'm sure they do.
They certainly do. Come on.
Goodbye, take care.
Bye.
Go on, little sheep. We are poor little lambs who have lost our way. Far, far, far. We are little black sheep who have gone astray. Oh, oh,
Well, I've got lots of lovely meat dishes to cook for the lacrosse team.
I have too. I've got 2 different ones. It'll be very good for them, just what they need to build.
Absolutely.
Oh, God, you know what? Something
What?
just struck me.
What?
This day and age, they'll probably be vegetarians.
Not the lacrosse team, surely. Gosh, plenty of room for the smell of boiled cabbage to rise.
You rise with the damp by the look of it.
Well, they look hungry enough.
They all look very healthy. I shouldn't think they're vegetarians.
Thank heavens for small mercies. What a marvellous place. It's splendid.
Ah, Jennifer, Clarissa, this is marvellous. Thank you so much. The cook's got flu and I promised the lacrosse team a slap-up meal.
Quite
Really kind of you to come.
What about shopping? Where can we get some meat locally?
Wonderful butcher in Cirencester, and maybe that Highgrove sometimes sells it.
That's the Prince of Wales, isn't it, Highgrove?
That's right, just up the road. There's a farm manager, I'm sure, will show you around. Right, we haven't a moment to lose. Come, you're the answer to my prayers.
Oh, hooray, I love being answered someone's prayers, don't you, Jennifer?
Just a little angel.
The kitchens are down there, you'll be fine. I've got to go and teach Latin to the upper 6th.
Very good.
Wally.
Harvey, that's quite well done.
Quo vadis.
Indeed. Did you do Latin at school?
I did it, but the only thing I can remember is Bala ladijanies, sic via non via siki saki tres, which is Baba Black Sheep.
So glad you told me, dear. I'd never have guessed. Good Lord, look at the size of it. Railway sleepers on the ceiling.
It's vast, isn't it?
Look at these pots. Brobdignag.
Look at this. And I believe I could love you and be even worthy of you if I only had a heart.
Come on, we better go and find some toothsome meat to cook.
It'll have to be sterilized.
So wise, dear.
Avanti.
To Highgrove, perchance. But there's someone.
Ah. Hi.
Hello,
Are you
ladies.
David Wilson?
Yes.
Oh, you'll get to show us your cattle very kindly.
Yes.
Oh, great.
I will take the Land Rover.
No. Hop on.
Okay, well, we need
Easier.
to go up here.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, wonderful.
Nice bike.
Lovely bike, isn't it?
Seat's wet.
You have a wet potty. Oh. Oh, I can eat a horse.
Fear not. I bought some homemade pork pies in case of emergency.
Come on. Come on, boys. Come on. Come on.
How many acres have you got here?
About 1,050.
All organic?
And it's all organic.
Or all the Prince of Wales?
Yes.
Any chance of seeing him? Would he be at home today?
He might be. He
He
might
might-
have a bit of trouble with security, but we can see.
But I'm cleared. I've already cooked for him.
You're cleared for what?
Well, that I'm not a poisoner.
Oh, right. Oh, well, that's it. Well, shouldn't be
What
any
did you
problem
cook
then.
for him?
Yeah.
I cooked him delicious lunch. I gave him raw fish and I called him Your Majesty by mistake.
Does he eat his own meat?
Yes, as much of the produce from the farm as possible.
Sensible man.
What could be better?
Absolutely.
Indeed. If you've got all this, eat it. Must be marvellous. Know exactly where it's all come from.
Well, I think it's good. I think people are getting more interested in knowing where their food has come from.
Quite
how
right
it's been
too.
reared.
Do you sell locally?
We do. I mean, we can arrange for a butcher that we work with to deliver some to Westonbirt if you like.
Oh, that would be brilliant. Well, I suppose we better be getting on, hadn't we?
Yes.
It's rather cold.
Right.
Right.
Bang
must
your
say,
remains in.
I love your bite. Do you think I can have a go?
Oh, pray do. On you pop, you don't need a helmet in this field. Hey, diddly-dee. Off we go, we three. Roll them wagons, roll them out, rawhide.
Oh, well.
Now I'm going to make you something which I think is perfectly delicious, and it's simple. You can eat it hot or cold, take it on picnics, have it in the dining room, anything. And it's really a meatloaf, but it's a grand meatloaf. It's not a nasty old dry thing like you used to have at school.
We used to call it Martha's Relics.
Martha's relics. How sinister. Anyway, first of all, I want to cook the mushrooms, but I need them to get cool for the mixture later. A damn good scrape of fresh nutmeg. That's very important.
Mind your knuckles.
They won't notice. My knuckles are in. This makes all the difference to mushrooms whenever you're using mushrooms. And we'll saute these now, not too much.
Lovely mushrooms.
These are excellent.
And I'm going to cook roast fillet of beef in a Pan-Asian fashion. That's with ginger, garlic, spring onion, chili, coriander, and coconut milk. You may think that that's a bit out of the ordinary with beef, but it works awfully well. It's smashing. And what I'm doing at the moment is I'm sealing the beef so that when I put it in the oven to roast, all the juices don't run out of it. And there's no fat in this pan at all. This is just a hot pan. Now, I'm doing this with fillet of beef, which is the most expensive cut, which is fine if you're feeling extravagant or you've won the lottery. But this recipe was originally developed for topside, which is a cheap cut. Right, I think that will do nicely now. I'm just going to put this into the roasting pan. And next I'm going to put in some olive oil. And there's some garlic. And some ginger. And some spring onions.
Lovely mixture.
Very nice too.
A trinity of delight.
And then I'm going to add some chilies. And half the coriander, lovely fresh coriander. You're so lucky to be able to get it everywhere these days, aren't you? And some soya sauce, dark soya sauce. Oh. God, they're so pathetic, these little...
Slosh it in.
Slosh it in, absolutely. Muck it about a bit. And then I'm just going to... Oof. Gosh, they keep hot, these things, don't they?
Yes, do be careful.
I will. Put this over the top. There we are.
Yummo.
And then I'm going to pour over some coconut milk. This is fresh coconut milk, but you can use it out of a can or that cream of coconut. All perfectly good. And so I'm going to pour that over. The rest of the coriander. And some lemongrass. Lemongrass.
What is this? What nationality?
Thai. Well, it's sort of
Thai.
Pan-Asian,
Yeah.
you know, it's sort of thing that's coming out of Australia at the moment. And then I'm going to add some lime. Look, they don't make lime squeezers like that anymore.
It's beautiful.
Isn't it lovely?
Where did you get it?
Oh, I can't remember. Somewhere in my travels. I got a kitchenalia fetish, you see. Squeeze that all over it. And that's ready now. Right, and now I'm going to stick this in the oven for 40 minutes. Whew.
Oof. I'm going to get on with the meatloaf.
Okay.
Now, what I've got here is mincemeat, pork mince, some sausage meat, and some minced veal. First of all, we'll mix them all, we'll break them up together a bit. Then we want to put in chicken's livers. Onions, about 2 onions chopped. Garlic. 2 or 3 cloves. Spoonful of allspice. This gives it a rather nice flavour. It sort of smells and is delicious. Now we've got some nice fresh thyme. Couple of eggs beaten up. Pour them in. And finally, about 10 juniper berries, which are very good with anything to do with game or meats or mixtures of meats. And of course, it's always used to flavour gin. And crush them. If you don't crush them, you won't get any flavour out of them. You'll just find nasty little black bullets. And you'll wonder what the world you've met. Now we want the mushrooms. Whoops-a-daisy. Then squish them in. Use your fingers, for heaven's sake. You must have it all mixed. All this squishing is lovely and probably does your hands a lot of good, which of course are spotless before you start. All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten these little hands, but never mind. Now it's fun time. This is when we mould it. You get the whole lot out. And plonk it in. If I'm doing this for children, I call it a roast hedgehog.
Hedgehog? Why?
Well, when I've molded it, I stick all over almonds, flaked almonds, so they look like the prickles. And at the end, I make a little nose with the black olive and 2 half blacks for the face.
Great.
And it looks like a tea-wickle, you know. We really want it more or less this shape, you see. Ovalish like that. Now what we do is, to sort of hold it together and to lubricate it, we'll tuck in bacon, rather like a Union Jack.
Rule Britannia.
And it also holds it together. I think I'll shove the first bay leaf there so that it can be held down, because they tend to curl up a bit when they're in the oven. Now we'll put a few more of these leaves over it, because they always give a good flavour. Lovely sprigs of rosemary. Tuck them on the sides there, and one across the top. And there we are, we'll bake it.
Oh, I'd better get mine out of the oven, hadn't I?
Darn hot.
Oh, I know.
See what yours looks like. Oh, wonderful.
Doesn't that look nice? And smell it. I mean, you can strain the sauce, but, well, I don't think so, do you?
No, I like all the little bits left in. I never know why people strain sauces.
No, I suppose it's refined.
Refined. Looks wonderful. Actually looks like a hedgehog.
Oh, don't. Yeah, I think we go left up here. Just towards that nice church.
There it is. I see it in the distance. There's a lovely little almshouse we just found.
Here we are. Here.
Lovely shop.
Gosh, Jennifer, look at this.
What a
This is
butcher.
Wonderful.
Magnificent.
Oh, what bliss.
All these marvellous kidneys, truffles.
Everything you
venison.
could wish for.
Can I help you?
Hello. I'm going to want some chicken breasts. And what do you want?
I want, please, the shoulder of lamb.
Well, I'll get that one first.
And could you be a dear and take off the knuckle end? But I'd like to keep it.
Righty-ho.
Look at those ribs of beef. Isn't that
But they've got
magic?
everything here.
I know.
There's some lovely faggots in the window.
Are there? We can
Yes.
have some for our tea.
Delicious. I haven't seen a real faggot in years. Marvellous marbling
Heart?
of the meat.
Oh, I know. Isn't that? And that lovely sort of nice, proper layer
It's a
of
dream,
fat.
real fat, yes.
I know. Gloucester Old Spot pork.
Old spot.
Old
Have
Spot.
a spot of old spot. And there's all these lovely cheap cuts which I adore. The ribs and the neck.
There we
and
are,
the-
madam.
the
Lovely.
lamb.
Thank you very much.
How wonderful. That is
Thank
sweet.
you very
And
much
you've got an account for Western Bird, haven't you?
Indeed, yes.
So can you put this on it?
Certainly.
Lovely. Thank you
Thank you
very
very
much.
much indeed.
Thank
I
you
want
so
to come
much.
and live here.
Thank you.
So do I. Carnivore's delight.
Thank you. Bye-bye now.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Right, let's take that.
Lovely sweetbreads. Goodness, I search for sweetbreads. I love them.
Everybody always thinks they're testicles, don't they?
Yes, quite mad. I can't imagine why they do. They're from two different glands. One from the throat and one from under the heart. I did once cook proper testicles. In Benghazi, of all places.
In Benghazi, whose testicles were they?
Well, they came from the souk. But I thought they were sweetbreads because I didn't know what they looked like in those days. And they were delicious.
Were they? How did you
Yes.
cook them?
I did them in that thing of soaking them and then sautéing them, you know, with cream.
Very nice. Let's go and lend our support to the jolly old lacrosse team.
The playing fields of Eton have made us frightfully brave.
Right, come on, girls.
How dare.
Oh, so energetic, aren't they? Isn't it lovely? Very good. It was a Red Indian War game, you know. I've never quite known why they think this is a suitable way of training young ladies for the future.
Well, they sound like Red Indians.
They
don't
do,
they?
rather. It's quite dangerous. You can get quite a clout with those sticks. Yes, go on, pass.
It looks very dangerous.
My days, the goalkeeper didn't wear all that stuff on their heads either, you know.
She looks like the man in the Iron Mask.
I used to be jolly good at this once, you know, Jennifer. Awfully good I was. Oh, well.
Come on, Schnoxy. Time to cook. Time to cook.
Okay,
We
yes.
have much to do.
Indeed we have. I'm going to cook pan-fried chicken with walnut iolard. This is really an excuse to use the walnut iolard, which is one of the most delicious things. And here I've got my chicken breasts marinating in yogurt and lemon juice. You mustn't leave chicken to marinate in yogurt for too long, because otherwise it will go woolly and blotting papery. But no more than an hour, just to be on the safe side. I'm going to start off by grinding my walnuts, make walnut iolard. If you've got any sense, you'll do this in a food processor or a Magimix, but I'm something of a masochist, so I'm going to do it with a pestle and mortar. The only exercise I take, really. And I'm just going to crush them up quite fine. We don't use walnuts nearly enough in this country.
You know why? They're so damn difficult to pick.
No, you just shake the tree. A dog, a woman, and a walnut tree, the more you beat them, the better they be. So I'm going to put these into this bowl here. And now for the garlic. Grind that up. And I'm going to put that in with the walnuts. And then I'm going to pour in my oil. This is walnut oil. Pour this in slowly, first of all, just a little at a time. And mix it in. And you're going to want it to emulsify together, a bit like a mayonnaise, only not so fine, obviously.
Absolutely delicious.
And the walnuts and the garlic will take up all the oil. And
We
you
had
get-
walnuts in Sicily.
Did you?
Yes, always having walnut sauces.
What sort? Were they black walnuts or?
Yeah, pretty black.
No. It's a type of species.
Oh, I don't know. I'm no gardener.
There are only
you know
two
me.
types of species of walnut. There's the black walnut and the ordinary common or garden walnut.
We expect ours was black then.
Probably. And just put the parsley in, little chopped parsley. There we are, all mashed up. That's me done. So, well, now I'm ready for my fry-up. So, I'll see you later.
Have a lovely time.
Thank you.
Now then, I'm going to do a nice easy dish, which is a sort of, it's not a stew because you do the whole thing. It's more of a braise, based on, you might say, a poor man's cassoulet. But the point of it, it's easy. You can prepare it all the day before if you want and half cook it the day before. If you've got an Aga, you know, you just put it in the lower oven and Bob's your uncle or something. Now, what you want is a nice shoulder of lamb. Look, this is wonderful. Have the little knuckle end cut off in case you don't have such a large casserole as this, because it makes it easy to fit in. But keep it full of goodness. Pop that in. Now, what I've got here are soaked haricot beans, but if you, I mean, it's really meant to be easy, this. You can well use tinned ones. Just pour them in with their juice, and they don't disintegrate. They're sort of magic, and they're really very good. But I'm using the real ones. And I'll leave this amount of water in. Now, we can start piling everything in. I've been chopping onions like mad. Great hunks of garlic, about 10, you know, what you like. I love it. Now we want some fresh tomatoes. Again, you can use those Italian chopped ones, you know, if you're in a hurry. Just a couple of tins. I've got some cut, so I'll use them. And now, you may not approve, but it'll all be right in the end. Put about 3 good dollops of tomato puree. That's that. Now, about 3/4 of a pint of white wine. And tuck some bay leaves in. They always go well with lamb. And rosemary, my beloved rosemary. And sprinkle over a few peppercorns. They'll all sort of melt and give flavour. Then that's about it, you see. It's really quick. It's wonderful. Just shove the top on. I'll pop this in the oven now. This is going to take a long, slow cooking.
Right, I've just shaken the yogurt off the chicken breast lightly, and then I've been pan frying them in a little olive oil until they're nicely coloured. You can see till they're done. And then I've got my iolard. Look at that. And that
Yum,
looks
yum.
lovely. I'm just going to spoon that over the top.
You're a great one at this spooning over the top, Lark.
No, I'm all for spooning
Oh.
over the top here. Leave it to cook a little longer and to heat through. Finish the chicken off. And you can make the iolard days in advance and keep it either in the fridge or a cool larder. Don't forget to put it in a sealed container if you're putting it in the fridge, because it smells wonderfully of garlic. And everything will smell wonderfully of garlic if you don't put it in a sealed container.
Wonderful.
Get away, it's for the girls. Right, well, I think that's done now.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
And the next one. There you go.
Thank you.
Always make more sauce than you need and serve with pasta for supper.
Eat this loaf, hot or cold, with a very good homemade tomato sauce.
Serve this beef with boiled new potatoes and spinach or seasonal vegetables as you prefer.
With this dish, I suggest very good crusty bread and a full-bodied red wine. I'm exhausted. What about you?
On my feet.
Yeah, it's always the feet.
Always the feet. I think it's the young that exhaust one, so...
Well,
Still, they all seem to enjoy it. They loved having beef again after all that nonsense, didn't they?
treats nowadays.
Mm. They loved your hedgehog too. You could get expelled for that, you know.
I don't care. Haven't smoked all day. Not allowed to in there. They can't expel me anyway. I'm much too old and I'm leaving.
I used to smoke a pipe in the nuns' cemetery.
I smoked Abdullahs, which was fatal. You know?
Are those flat ones?
Yeah, Turkish, so of course it can be smelt all over the place. You're a good girl. You've given it up.
Yes, I'm giving it up now. Very few vices left.
Very few vices, and those are hidden.
Well, it depends really whether they take the trousers off or not.
Really?
Oh, hell, I've forgotten my lime squeezer. Ah, no, it's all right. Here it is. That was fun. Do it again. Further information about these recipes can be found on CFAX, page 612.
Crab that crab, Clarissa. Eat that meat, Jennifer. Why doesn't that pheasant look pleasant? Fasten your taste buds for gastronomic ride. Cause our two fat ladies are itching to get into your kitchen. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There we are.
Perfect. I'm taking us on a mission of mercy, dear.
Really? Pray, tell me more.
Well, my darling priests at Westminster Cathedral are in a spot of bother and need our help, kitchen-wise.
Oh, splendid. Will we get a plenary indulgence?
I shouldn't be surprised. Here we are.
Isn't your uncle close to the cardinal or something?
Yes, he's the Cardinal Gentil Uomo. His gentleman in waiting. This cardinal is his sixth one. He's got five other cardinals under the sod, and my grandfather was doing them before him.
Good heavens, a family industry.
It's an industry.
What does he wear?
He wears full court dress, you know, breeches, diamond shoes, lace, sword, hat,
How wonderful.
all that. We must now go and look for Father Mark.
Right, well, this is your territory, Jennifer.
He's very helpful. He's a sweet creature.
Oh, good.
That's Father Mark.
Oh, right.
Ladies, how nice to see you.
Father.
You found me all right.
It's the heavens.
It's a big place, easy to get lost in here.
I never know where you're going to be.
But you both know the building quite well, don't you?
Oh, yes, of course, since childhood.
Yes, you'll have seen many changes we've added to the decorations since then, and we're hoping that in the future to finish the marbling and the mosaics.
How old is the cathedral now?
It's 100 years old. Last year we had the great centenary celebrations. Yes, we had lots of services, and the Queen came. We're very pleased about that.
Maybe we'll get her back.
Maybe we will. Who knows? We're very grateful you've come because you know that our Portuguese nuns are on holiday at the moment, the nuns who cook for us. So the fathers are all starving, so we're very glad you've arrived. I'll take you through to the clergy house then, if you'd like to follow me.
To the kitchen.
Morning, Monsignor. So this is the long corridor. It's the artery joining the cathedral and the clergy house where the priests live.
How many priests have you got in the clergy house?
We've 15 priests here, and one of them I want you to meet especially is Father Sean. He's our market gardener. He grows vegetables on a little plot on the roof.
Is he in that? Has he a passion for it?
He has. He's got very green fingers. He spends hours with his watering can. He's a martyr to his tomatoes.
A martyr.
So here we are, ladies. The kitchen is off to your left. Thank you for coming. Very good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Goodbye. I'm going to cook hot stuffed artichokes. This is that most neglected of vegetables, the globe artichoke. We don't make enough of them in Great Britain, unlike that Italian princess Catherine de' Medici, who taught the French how to cook, who nearly died of a surfeit of them on her wedding day. Now, there is quite a lot of care and preparation in getting an artichoke ready, and I'm going to start by breaking off the stem end of the artichoke. And as you break it off, you'll see that quite a lot of the fibres come with it, and that means that they won't be sort of embedded in the nice, juicy artichoke heart at the bottom. And then I'm going to pull off some of the outside leaves at the bottom, which you don't need. They're sort of useless little leaves. And I'm going to trim some of the outer leaves. When you do this, artichokes turn black very quickly. And so what you want to do is rub any area that you cut with lemon juice. And I'm going to cut down from the top. You see I'm cutting down about the top third. Again with the lemon juice. And then cut down and remove the center bit, the core of the plant, so that you can get at the choke underneath. All that fibrous stuff, that's the choke. If you eat that, you'll feel very ill indeed. And you really want to be very careful at this stage to get everything out. And throw it straight in the bin. Don't leave it lying around where it can get into things.
As bad as opening an oyster.
No, much worse than opening an oyster, really. There we are, and then you see inside you've got the lovely clean cup and a perfect base putting in your stuffing. Well, I've got 3 more of these labours of Hercules to do, so do you want to get on with whatever it is you are at?
Yes, of course. I've been frying bacon till it's really crisp. I'm doing a dish which is mainly broad beans, and the first time I ever had it was in a house called The Fitz, just outside Cockermouth in Cumberland. And so, to me, beans means Fitz. What I've done, I've got this bacon really crispy.
Very good bacon, I'm sure.
Very good bacon, none of that milky muck in the bottom of the pan. Water or whatever it is they put in after bacon. Now we'll chop an egg or 2. Great thing is when you peeled your eggs beforehand, put them into a bowl of cold water, and that prevents that nasty sort of black ring. Or at least it helps. All we've got to do is chop them up roughly. This is a great deal easier than poor Clarissa's hacking away at those monsters. Now these beans are already boiled, and you boil them, depending on their size, until they're just tender. You don't want them overdone, and they should be tiny. These, I'm afraid, are a little large, but the smaller the better. Now we just bundle those egg pieces over the beans. Put a quantity of parsley and chives over the top. give them a little... Look, already it begins to look ravishing. The crispy bacon. You see, it's really easy. And everybody loves it. Everyone I've ever met, anyway. If they didn't, I think I would stop acquaintanceship.
Oh, well. Glad to say I love broad beef.
And then you lattice the top with dear little anchovy fillets. There we are. That's all you have to do, except I've got a dressing here of lemon juice and olive oil and salt and pepper. Quite a lot of lemon juice to make it tart. Sprinkle it over quite generously. Ravishing. Now we must chill it for just about half an hour and serve it as the first course. Easy. There, that's me done. I think I'll go and treat Father Mark to a glass of champagne.
'Twas only a glass of champagne, but it led a poor girl to sin. Well, I have cleaned all my artichokes, and I'm ready now to make my stuffing. I got some black olives, which have been cut into pieces, some white breadcrumbs, some chopped parsley, either curly or flat, it really doesn't matter. Some chopped garlic, crushed chopped garlic. You can put in as much or as little as you like. If you think you're getting the smell of garlic, well, the answer is you just chew a bunch of parsley. It works perfectly. And some chopped onion. Some capers, just cut in half. I love capers. Capers with everything. It's my 18th century soul. Chopped tomatoes, which have been de-seeded and skinned. And then about 4 ounces of Parmesan cheese, which has been coarsely slithered, grated, whatever you like. And then mix that up. And now into the cavity that you have so beautifully prepared for it, you put your stuffing. In the 80s, I was sent to teach etiquette to yuppies in Leeds. I went up on the train every week. And one of the things they wanted to learn how to eat was the artichoke. They were very worried about eating artichokes. And I used to say, well, use your hands. You know, you can't eat it any other way. You've just got to pull the leaves off, dip them in your sauce and eat them. And only when you get to the bottom, when you get to the heart of the artichoke, do you pick up your knife and fork. They couldn't understand this at all. And I said, well, you try and eat it any other way. But the yuppie has gone and the artichoke remains. So, there we are. Now they're stuffed and they're ready to be cooked, and I shall just take them over to the oven. Now I've got some oil that I've been warming here, some olive oil, just covering the bottom of the pan, and I'm going to put my artichokes in it.
Hey-ho.
Watcha?
They look magnificent.
Don't they look good?
Terrific. Very snug.
Snug as a bug in a rug.
And now?
And I'm just going to pour some white wine over them. About a third of a bottle. And now I need a lid. A lid? Where's that? Ah, well done. And now it's got to go in the oven. Will you give me a hand? It weighs a ton.
Yeah.
Right, well, they'll take about an hour. Well, here we are on the roof.
Isn't that a terrific view?
Isn't it wonderful?
Hello, Father Sean.
Good morning.
We've come to plunder you.
Oh, really?
Plunder your wares.
Oh.
Hello, I'm Clarissa.
Hello, nice to meet you.
You're the market gardener priest.
Sort of, yes.
What are your tomatoes?
Well, there's Moneymaker and Gardener's Delight.
Oh, those aubergines. Good heavens.
Yes.
Sweet.
Yes.
And what are those?
And the little peppers, baby peppers there. But I'm afraid there's nothing ripe at the moment. They went in late this year.
I wonder where else we can find ecclesiastical vegetables. Where do you think?
Well, I'm told they're Anglican nuns at Ham. Just not too far from here.
Oh, yes, I've heard of them. They have a fine walled garden, haven't they?
Yes.
That would be nice. I think your garden's sweet, dear.
Thank you.
But it's not big enough.
No.
We'll leave you to your watering.
Okay, sorry I couldn't help you.
I'm sure it'll be splendid. Just a little more sun.
Yes.
The Lord will provide. I think this is the convent in here, Jennifer.
Yeah.
Right, Michael's convent. Hammer mellis mollis.
Which hazel to me, dear?
Nothing wrong with the Latin.
Yeah, but I understand which hazel better.
Fine, so romantic. Ah, sister, can you tell us the way to the vegetable garden?
Oh, yes, straight through. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sister.
Hello.
Gosh, what a wonderful garden you've got.
Oh, thank you.
It's amazing.
Hello, I'm Clarissa and this is Jennifer.
Hi.
And we're cooking for the priests at Westminster Cathedral, and they recommended that we should come and ask you if we might take some vegetables.
Oh, that's very nice of them. Yeah, we have lots of vegetables here, as you can see.
Oh, indeed. And is that a pumpkin there?
Over there, yeah, that's pumpkin. We have lots of them. The sisters really like them. They store the whole winter, and they get very hard then.
Yeah.
You need to axe to cut
Yes,
them.
indeed.
So the sisters sometimes really have trouble cutting these big...
They take a hatchet to it, do they?
No, they tried with a knife, but there have been some difficulties with it.
Blood flowing.
Yes, that's true sometimes. Yeah.
Do you use the flowers? Do you cook the flowers?
No? What can you do with the flowers?
You can either stuff them and then fry them,
Yeah.
or just dip them into a very light batter,
A
like the Italians do. And they whip in white of egg as well to make it very light and crispy.
Yes.
And then they bring some wonderful, great dish of golden flowers.
Oh, I must
all
try
crispy.
that. Yeah.
Delicious.
All right. What would you like? What do you need?
I'd like some peaches if you have them. Are they ready?
Yes, we have
Yeah.
a few in
Yeah.
the greenhouse.
Great.
And what vegetables?
Well, I'd like a cabbage.
Oh, yeah, sure. There's some over there, and there's some quite close to the path.
Right, well, I'll go and cut my cabbage
Yeah.
then if you're happy.
Okay, and we can go and get the peaches.
Yes, that'd be lovely. Great treat to be able to go and pick peaches. Magnificent.
Good heavens, what have you got there? Look at that.
I've got wonderful peaches.
Very lovely. Mmm. I once lived with a man who would have committed acts of violence upon my person had I not been able to intervene by swiftly cooking bubble and squeak, which is what I'm making here. In the frying pan, I've got an ounce of lard and the onions. You must use either lard or beef dripping. They're the only fats you can really get to sufficiently high temperatures to make this dish properly. If you don't, for some reason, use either of those, then go and cook something else.
Chips are much better with beef dripping, aren't they?
Absolutely.
They make them really good.
And I have here some potatoes, which I'm just finishing chopping. Look, 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 Jennifer, look at my nice 18th century vegetable chopper.
It's a marvellous creature.
It's American, of all things. They were into gadgets even then. And what you must also do when you're chopping the potatoes is to crush them slightly. They just take up the fat better. And I'm going to add to the lard and the onions the potatoes and the greens. You can use any greens. This happens to be cabbage. I like Savoy cabbage or green cabbage, not white cabbage particularly.
Turnip tops.
Turnip tops particularly good.
Yeah.
Season, and then a half an ounce of lard, which you just put onto the top of it and let it cook in. It's called bubble and squeak because of the noise it makes. If you listen, you'll hear the sort of sizzle and bubble of the fat and the squeaking of the greens. It's the howl of a lettuce as it's plucked from the earth.
You really upset people.
Oh, good. Keep pressing it down, and with a lovely brown crust underneath. That is the secret of bubble and squeak. You know, undercooked bubble and squeak is just a mess, but lovely brown, crusty bubble and squeak, that's the thing. So this is going to take about another 15 minutes, so do you want to get on with yours?
What I'm making is a variation on the fruit summer pudding. I'm making a tomato pudding. What you do is dip them into boiling water, the tomatoes, just for about half a minute, and peel them, that's easy. Then chop roughly like this, and then you put them in a bowl, and then we'll season it with some salt, proper salt, pinch of sugar. It's always good on tomatoes, a little sugar. It brings out the flavour. Do try and get very good tomatoes. Smell them before you buy them. Pepper. Now, what we have here is passata, which merely means sieved tomatoes, passed through a sieve, in fact. And then we have to season it with some Tabasco and some Worcester sauce, quite lots of Worcester sauce, some lemon juice, always a good thing, lemon juice. Now we'll mix that up. Now we must line our bowl with some nice stale Italian bread. I've got this nice little cutter here, which is the same size as the bottom of the bowl, and we'll cut that piece first. Then we'll douse the bread, we'll dip the bread into the passata, and we'll put it in the bottom of the bowl. That'll make the base. And we do the same thing again. We cover them in the passata, press them in, just go on cutting bits so they fit in. So they'll all join up together in the end, all will be well. Now, you see that is more or less it. Now, mix all the tomatoes up with the seasoning. Put some garlic in here. Stir it all up. Then get some basil and tear the leaves in.
Who was it who put their lover's head in a pot of basil?
Isabel. The face was white and green, that livid spot. I used to love that. She buried it, and the basil grew a treat.
I bet it did, yeah.
Now, there we are. We've got all this, and we'll pop it in. Squish it down so that it's completely full. And now we'll drizzle olive oil into it. You could mix it in if you wanted to, but it's quite nice if it just sort of soaks through. You give it a little helping hand. Luscious. Now, we want to make a lid to cover it. Press it like that. We'll need another bit from the other half. Now, what you have to do is like a summer pudding. Put a lid on it. A saucer will do. And weigh it down. It wouldn't be a bad idea, actually, to put it on a plate, because it's going to have spillage, and we don't want that.
No spillage allowed.
Well, it'll make a mess everywhere. And now it needs, I think, about 12 hours in the refrigerator. 6 might do, but the longer the better, because it gets more intense. The taste sort of gets stronger and stronger.
Good. So I'm just going to turn this over now. It's not an omelette. You're not supposed to turn it all over in one piece. A little more lard. Sprinkle that on the top. And then pat it down a bit more.
Are you nearly finished?
Yes, pretty well. I've just got to brown the other side. Won't take long now.
When you're ready, I wonder if you'd be a dear. I want you to pass some raspberries through a sieve to make a sauce for me.
Yes, of course I will.
While I poach the peaches. That looks lovely and it smells good.
It smells gorgeous, doesn't it? There you are.
Thank you. I've got some water and sugar here I'm making into a syrup because I'm going to make a rather grand version of Peaches Cardinal. Because as we're in this wonderful building, this marvellous Westminster Cathedral, I think they ought to be Peaches Cardinal Hume. You wait for this sugar to completely dissolve, then pop a vanilla pod in. When you're finished with the vanilla pod at the end, take it out and dry it and keep it in the jar and you can use it again. Put the peaches in. We just leave them there for a few minutes until they're just soft and ready to peel.
And I'm just making this raspberry sauce, which is perfectly simple. All it is really is the juice of the raspberries that you put through the sieve. And some sugar. And you just mix the two together. And you can use it for anything you like, but please, I implore you, don't call it a coulis.
A coulis is a Chinese gentleman in a triangular straw hat, in my book.
Yes, carrying things.
Carrying things. Very splendid they are.
You've peeled them already.
Oh, they're very easy to peel once they're poached. I'm going to put some of these bitters from the bark of the Angostura tree over them, just to sort of counteract the sweetness. But some people might prefer the sweetness. I think this gives a special little taste.
Lovely, I love bitters.
Yeah. Now we must transfer them to a lovely bowl. I don't cut them in half, I like them whole. People can deal with the stones themselves. But I like the look of the whole peach.
So would you like me to do the honours with this sauce?
Oh, do the honours. You made it like a good dear. Beautiful, isn't it?
Oh, lovely. Such a good colour.
Hence the cardinal. Hence the cardinal.
Who would want to be a Protestant when you can have cardinals?
Now then, what we'll do is sift a little icing sugar. It will go through the sieve, over the top, in honour of Cardinal Hume's magnificent head of hair. Such a fine man. Now, instead of the ubiquitous mint, because of our Cardinal's name, I'm going to put leaves of basil on them.
Of course. His Christian name's Basil. How clever you are.
George Basil. A dish fit for a prince of the church, indeed.
Delightful.
Bless us, O Lord, and the food we are about to receive. Bless those who have prepared it, and give food to the hungry. Through Christ our Lord. Amen.
This is an excellent and fun first course with plenty of robust tastes and textures.
Will soothe the savage male at any hour of the day or night.
Serve as a first course with brown bread and butter.
Brilliant for supper, even better for lunch.
A glass of Beaune de Venise or Prosecco would go down a treat with it. But I hope the priest are all having a lovely supper.
I hope so too. All looked wonderful, the food. Did you ever want to become a nun?
No, never, never. It's not my cup of tea at all.
My mother told me they all wore calico underwear and ate horrible things, so that was me out for a start.
My nuns had very good food, at least we did, but they expelled me and that put me off them.
Didn't they have extraordinary habits?
Very.
No. To wear, Jennifer, to wear.
Yes, they had the chicest habits in the world, actually. They were designed by Worth, which was pretty grand, wasn't it?
Amazing.
Amazing.
Quite amazing. Well, cheers.
Cheers, dear.
And to the Almighty, I think.
And very much to the Almighty. Further information about these receipts can be found on CFAC, page 612.
Grab that crab, Clarissa. Eat that meat, Jennifer. Why doesn't that pheasant look pleasant? Fasten your taste buds for gastronomic ride. Cause us two fat ladies are itching up to get into your kitchen. Yeah! Oh, yes.
Jennifer, Scotland!
Scotland!
Again.
Here we come! Great. We have a marvellous kitchen to cook in today. I know the house awfully well. It's the home of the 15th Duke of Hamilton.
Goodness, how grand. I love a Duke. Is he at home today?
No, dear, sorry to disappoint you. He's in the Touquet flying aeroplanes with Hussein of Jordan, which is why we've been summoned to cook for his guests.
Very unusual thing to be doing. Never mind. While the cat's away, the mice can play.
If you put it just between those cannons, I should think. Splendid, Lennox, love.
Lennox Club. What a pretty name for a house. Why is it called that?
Well, Frances Stuart, Duchess of Lennox, had a favourite nephew, Lord Blantyre. She's the one who was Britannia on the coins, you know. And
Really?
She left it to him. And its correct name is Lennox Love to Blantyre.
All for the love of a nephew.
That's right.
We should have such aunts.
I know. Some people get all the luck.
Aha! Family portraits.
Yes, that's the first Duke. He was so enthusiastic in his support of Charles I that they made him a Duke, and so enthusiastic after that that he died at the Battle of Preston.
Pity, he's rather pretty, isn't he?
And he was succeeded by his not-so-pretty brother, who was equally enthusiastic and died at the Battle of Worcester.
How dreadful. So they were all popping off.
Mm.
Oh, who's the big fellow?
Oh, we'll need him. He's the hunting Duke. He was the 6th Duke.
Well, I think I'll stick to St. Hubert.
Did he come to Scotland?
Oh, that doesn't matter. He can always perform a miracle anywhere.
True, true. And she...
She's a pretty lady.
She, poor thing, Lady Mary Fielding, was married to the 1st Duke when she was 9 and he was 13.
Good heavens.
And she died at 26, having had 6 children, all girls.
What a disgrace.
Quite. Anyway, to our places. The kitchens are through this way.
The baby in the west wing who crouches by the grate was walled up in the west wing in 1428. And if anyone spots the Queen of Scots in a hand embroidered shroud, we're proud of the stately homes of Scotland.
I think it's England there in the song.
Apologies to Noel. Well, today I'm going to prepare lovely bunny rabbit. I love rabbit. I think it's delicious. And I'm going to make a stew. But before cooking the rabbit, it must be marinated overnight to give a good flavour and to lubricate it. So, in here, with the rabbit pieces, I've got white wine, onions, carrots, rosemary, and bay leaves. Now, I'll take it over there and prepare the rest of it.
And I'm making pheasant and pickled walnut terrine. You may think that game is for the rich, the idle, and the aristo, but you'd be wrong. Game is lean, fat-free if you must, delicious, more importantly, And you can even buy it in supermarkets these days. And what I'm doing at the moment is I'm lining this terrine with streaky bacon. It's actually, as you can see, not so much a terrine as a loaf tin, but that's fine. And what I'm doing is I'm just flattening out the bacon a little bit so that it will go better around the tin. I love pheasant. I had a lot of access to pheasant in my life.
You did? You farmed them, didn't you? Actually looked after them?
Yes, I managed a pheasant farm and cooked at the same time. We had 25,000 pheasants.
Heavens. And
don't let the fluffy bunny brigade ever tell you that they're dear, sweet creatures. They're one of God's nastiest animals. They come out of the egg trying to peck each other's eyes out. And they have gangbangs. When all the cocks go around, they jump on this poor little hen pheasant and rape her to death.
Dreadful.
They are a very nasty bird indeed, but they do have the advantage of tasting delicious. They must be hung. You can't, as you can with grouse or partridge, take it straight off the moor and cook it. A pheasant that isn't hung has no flavour whatsoever.
None, and rather dry.
Yep. And like Jennifer's rabbit, pheasant has no real fat in it. So you have to add some fat. And that is why the bacon for this terrine, because it will lubricate it and make it moist, apart from the fact that if you use good bacon, it'll taste delicious. So I've now lined this tin, and then you put in the pheasant. This is the meat from a whole pheasant. Cut it into strips, both the white meat and the dark meat. And I've had it marinating overnight in red vermouth. And pack it in well. There's an amazing amount of meat on a pheasant. People are constantly surprised. Now that I've half filled this terrine, I'm going to put in a layer of pickled walnuts.
I hope they're not those disgusting, heavily vinegared ones you get in pubs. I don't like that taste.
Oh, God forbid, Jennifer. No, look. Lovely little things. My own green walnuts.
Oh, that's terrific.
Picked in the garden this morning, which I shall pickle in due course. But I brought them along just to show you.
Very proud-making.
Very proud-making, yes. But anyway, here are some I did earlier, like last year, you know.
They look wonderful.
And you just slice them, not too thinly. Don't be painstaking. You can buy them in any good delicatessen. And they are lovely things. You can add them to anything. You can add them to beef stew very easily. They give a good colour to it and a nice flavour. You're flouring your rabbit that way. That's a very good way of doing it.
So it's the only way. It's terrible that putting it out on a basin and dib-dabbing on and everything gets sort of soggy.
And spend half an hour scrubbing it off the kitchen table afterwards, yes. There we are. And now I'm going to put the other half of this pheasant on and fill it up to the top. So now I've filled up the terrine, and I'm just going to cover it with some more pieces of bacon. You see how really simple this is. Everybody thinks terrines are so complicated, but this is terribly easy. So, there we are. Now I'm just going to put it in a bain-marie and put it in the oven. A bain-marie, Mary's bath. Everybody thinks it's something terribly mystical and wonderful, but it's actually just any old pan with some water in the bottom of it. And it's just so that the bottom of what you're cooking doesn't burn. It steams a little as well, which helps the cooking process.
Whoops.
There we are.
Right. I'll carry on with my rabbit stew. I've got some olive oil in this pan, and we want to get it really hot. I want it hot because I want to put chilies in and make them explode as they hit the heat. And do remember, with chilies, if you touch them, for heaven's sake, wash your hands and do not touch your face or eyes. Otherwise, you're in real pain.
On second thoughts, if you encourage people to touch their face and eyes, they won't do it again a second time.
We'll put the bits of rabbit in, keeping up the heat.
That rabbit looked lovely.
We want to fry these pieces briskly, so just to brown them outside. Now I want this to get nice and brown, so that they're sort of caramelized all round.
It smells so good. That's what I hate about microwaves. They don't have any smell. They're so boring. Bing! And that's it. You know, that's all there is to it. Do you remember when Mum was young, you know, you got rabbit instead of chicken?
Yes.
But until the early 18th century, when they suddenly started breeding, they were a rarity.
A rarity.
Oh, yeah, they were a great luxury food. You used to have, you know, warrenders who were quite high nobles of the court who looked after the king's rabbit.
Also, they have a far better taste than your average supermarket chicken.
A board of polystyrene tastes better than the average supermarket chicken.
That's getting nice and brown, not quite brown enough.
Very important, is it, to brown it properly?
I like the brown properly. That gives it that sort of caramelization and gives a very good taste.
What's your favourite game, Jennifer, do you think?
Well, I love the grouse bird. But anything to eat with bread sauce is my feeling. Which I adore.
Bread sauce with bread sauce?
Bread sauce with bread sauce. Bread sauce with sausages.
Oh, really? That's a thought.
Both are good.
Yes, I can imagine.
So I think they're pretty brown and nice. And they look pretty, don't they?
Very lovely.
So we want to put them into this nice pot. Now, I'm going to put the marinade, all the delicious things that were in the marinade, into here and bring it up to the boil.
Ah, look at that. Doesn't that look pretty? Lovely colours.
And I'm going to add garlic. A good quantity of capers. And, of course, my favourite anchovies. They add to practically every dish. They just sort of disappear and make a wonderful taste.
Yes, I was surprised not to find them in your coffee cake.
I'm just mixing everything up together, and I want it just to come up to the boil. That'll do. Into the pot.
Well, you're just going to pour it all over?
Yes. That'll take about 45 minutes to cook in the oven. In she goes.
Oh, yummy. I can't wait. Smells wonderful.
It's awfully good, I think. Heavens, we've been travelling for miles.
I think we're nearly there. Apparently the keeper's got some birds for us in his bag, but he's out shooting, so we've got to find him and collect them. Anyway, I wanted you to see how beautiful the Highland moors are.
They really are breathtaking, aren't they? And I'm sure there's lots of plump little grouse birds lurking in the heather.
Indeed, and partridges too, apparently. I don't see anybody about. Do you?
No.
It's lovely. Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah. What time are we expecting this gamekeeper now?
Ian McPhee, he's
Ian
called.
McPhee.
He's the head keeper, I gather. I don't know. Any minute now, I think. When did you last shoot?
You wouldn't believe, 100 years ago, I was shooting Chicor in Benghazi with the Lancers of all people.
Jennifer, I'm frightfully pucker.
And a mad Italian consul who shot everybody instead of the game.
Forgive my ignorance, but what is Chicor?
It's like a partridge, a desert partridge.
Bigger?
Bigger.
And how
very, very good to eat.
How do you cook it?
Same, roast it.
Hello, ladies. Ah.
Hello. Hello there.
Are you Mr. McPhee?
Yes, I am.
Have you got some game for us?
Yes, I do. I've got some game here for you.
Brilliant.
Uh-huh. Would you like to come and have a shot with us?
Yes, it'd be a great treat.
That would be fun.
Have you any more guns?
Yes, we've got some spare guns.
Oh, look at this wonderful sight appearing.
Oh, look, kilts and all. Come on, Jennifer.
The Scotsman came down like a wolf on the fold. His corsets were gleaming in purple and gold.
I don't think it's corsets. I think it's cohort. You need a hand?
No, I need a parachute.
You got a pulley for us up there. Look at the dogs bounding about. The smell of cordite and gun smell.
I love the dogs working.
I know, they're pretty.
Yeah, they're wonderful.
Get on.
Oh, look!
Good boy, good boy.
Good boy.
Get on, Jock. Get on.
It's definitely got your brand on it, Jennifer.
Shooting from the hip, I can always get them.
Do you think the dog will find another one? Do you think they got more than one?
Well, he seems interested, doesn't he?
Yes,
Look at that.
The dog's got it. Well
Yes,
done,
bravo.
good boy.
Come on then.
Brilliant.
Come on.
Very good.
There's your...
That's
No, and
splendid.
another. I think it was probably Ian with a right and left, but it might have been one of ours.
Well done.
I think I'm better at cooking them than I am at shooting them, really. But, the sort of romance of it all, you know, standing with a gun on the moor.
Annie Oakley, here I come. But if I shoot the herder, they'll holler bloody murder, 'cause you can't get a man with a gun. With a gun. Splendid.
Yes, look at that. In go the grouse.
And now the partridge.
Oh, what bliss. When I say that I'm going to cook partridges with cabbage, people look askance at me. But actually, I find it's an excellent way of cooking them. And I've got some bacon fat in this pan, which I'm browning the partridges in. It's important for this recipe to brown them well before you add the cabbage.
I've cooked old partridges right in the heart of a whole cabbage, slowly
really?
in the oven. And it makes all the cabbage taste of the partridge. Yes, it's lovely.
So now they're nice and brown, I'm just going to add the cabbage. I just blanched this very gently in a little boiling water. And it's shredded. Make sure the birds are sort of covered and it's all in the cracks and round the place. And I'm going to season it with some juniper berries, which I've crushed to release all the natural oils. Just like a gin and tonic. Sprinkle those over the top. And a bit of paprika, just a sprinkling. And some pepper, ground black pepper. And some salt. So these will take about 20 minutes. So I've got to cover them and I'll just move out of your way, Jennifer.
Thank you, dear. I'm going to cook these ravishing little medallions of venison. They're from the fillet, and they're very nice and tender. And I'm going to mix them at the end with bramble jelly. Right, I've got my bacon fat hot. I'm going to fry these little creatures. They need about 5 to 7 minutes cooking, turning quite often.
And how many of those would you serve per person?
Well, this is a particularly small, young one. I should think you could give three to a person of these. If they're a bit bigger, 2 is enough.
Right, well, I'll have 5 then. I remember my father had a patient who was a Highland laird who used to send him a haunch of venison every year. And my poor mother never knew what to do with it.
Bury it in the cellar.
That's right.
It glows.
I think she did bury it one year and we couldn't find it. And she had to rush off to Harrods and find another one. Because my father kept saying, where's that venison? When are we going to eat that venison? And you're going to cook them with blackberries?
I'm going to put some blackberry jelly, bramble jelly, and you really ought to get the best you can. Buy the most expensive, or of course, if you made your own, so much the better.
Picking blackberries in the rain. Oh, sweet memories of you. What day is it the devil pisses on the blackberries?
It's not in Lent, is it?
No, it's the end of the blackberry season and they suddenly all go wrong and you can't eat them anymore. They all go manky.
Is it a special day?
Yeah, I think it's something like the 1st of October and the country people say, the devil pisses on the blackberries.
Don't touch them anymore.
That's right.
Tiny little fellows.
Should they be pink inside?
I think slightly pink, I think it's better. I always like things pink inside. Very good. I think they're done. Those can keep warm for a bit. This is the bramble jelly. I'm going to put a teaspoonful, or just a little dab. We don't want them getting cold.
Lorks, my grouse. I'd better get on.
I've got some good stock here. You make some good stock, have some proper stuff, don't use a cube. Preferably game stock, but good beef or veal, you know, that'll do. And scrape all the goodies and from the pan into it. And then we want it to bubble away until it gets that sort of syrupy look. Bubble, bubble, toil and trouble. That's what we want.
Well, I hope it hasn't got all those nasty things that Macbeth's witches had. Was it eye of toad and tongue of dog or something?
I make my stocks at midnight. Now we're going to put in some creme fraiche. I love creme fraiche, but you can use thick double cream as well if you have it or prefer it. Stir that in. And we want it to come again to the bubble. That's gotten nice and thick. And we pour it over my little treasures. We put some blackberries round.
It does look lovely.
Very good with noodles, I think, just sort of buttered noodles.
Oh, like the Austrians?
To sop, yes, to sop up all the juices. Well, that's done. I'm going to come and annoy you. Or can I help you?
No, I'm all right, honestly. I'm getting on like a house on fire. Now, this dish is called Dumtreath grouse. And what you do is you take a piece of apple and you insert it inside your grouse, and then a knob of butter and some salt and pepper and another bit of apple. And then I'm going to wrap it in streaky bacon. And it's a very good way of using up older birds if you have them. These aren't older birds, by the way. They're beautiful.
They're beautiful, plump little grouse birds.
Shot so exquisitely by us, too.
From the hip?
From the hip, in your case, yes, right. Annie Oakley. And I'm just wrapping them up in streaky bacon because they don't have any fat either.
Lots of good bacon.
And you see, I've got a bit of water in the bottom of the pan, so they almost sort of steam slightly.
What did you say this one was called?
Dumfries.
Is that a place?
Yep.
Yep.
It's an estate. So there we are. Just pop the last one in.
Lovely. Snug as a bug in a rug.
And I'm just going to cover it with a bit of foil.
Quite firmly?
No, quite loosely.
Quite loosely.
Just sort of drape it round the dish like a evening shawl. There we are.
Put on her silver lame.
That's right. And pop it in the oven. And there we go. A comforting dish for a cold night or any night, warmer than a Highland piper. Splendid for lunch with a salad or as a starter.
A ragout of rabbit, my favourite habit.
A foolproof way to cook an older bird like us.
Benson with blackberries rich and rare. Ah, but it makes marvellous fare.
Seems to be the only thing we haven't cooked is peacock.
I've eaten many a peacock.
Have you?
Rather like a pheasant.
Yes, it is really. I once shot one in my sprouting broccoli.
What the hell was it doing there?
Well, I suppose it was eating the sprouting broccoli.
But where did it come from?
Oh, from the next door estate.
Oh, gosh.
I thought it was a rabbit, and there was... and I looked out and I thought, oh, I've shot a pheasant, and there was this dead peacock.
But were they very cross?
Well, I invited them to dinner and cooked it up and opened a rather good bottle of claret, and they said, this is very interesting. What is this? And I said...
And you said, I didn't buy this at Harrods.
That's probably exactly what I said. Anyway, after the third bottle of very good claret, they were very understanding.
Well, I'm exhausted, dear. I think it's better for this.
Yes, this is quite the grandest house we will have dossed down in for a while.
It is indeed, if not the grandest.
I think you've got the Queen Mother's old bedroom.
Our present Queen Mother?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful.
And as this is the only house in Scotland that Mary, Queen of Scots, didn't bed down in, I will have to make do, I suppose, with Frances, Duchess of Lennox.
Well, a ghost or a person?
No, a ghost.
Oh, I'd love to meet a ghost.
Well, I'll send her round to you if she comes to call.
Send her round, yes. Well, anyway, your very good health.
Slancher. Further information about these recipes can be found on CFAX, page 612.
Grab that crab, Clarissa. Eat that meat, Jennifer. Why doesn't that pheasant look pleasant?
Fasten your taste buds
For gastronomic ride,
because us two fat ladies are itching up
to get into your kitchen. Yeah.
Oh, yes. I'm so glad glad you were able to come with me to Hallerton, Jennifer.
Not at all, my dear.
OK, left. They're raising money for the wonderful old church, and Anthea's volunteered us to make cakes at their annual fete.
Is that your friend Anthea from your WI days?
The self-same one. It's that house with the Virginia creeper on it. Whew. Bet you're boiled.
I am. Absolutely boiling. Where do you think we have to put our cake stand?
I think it's up by the buttercross on the green up there. That strange pointy thing. Right, here we are.
Lovely knocker.
Oh, good, the door's open.
Avanti.
Woo!
Yoo-hoo-hoo.
Here's the kitchen.
Oh, fine kitchen.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, Jennifer, look what I've seen.
Oh, Naga.
Oh, dear, I don't like baking in an Aga.
I haven't cooked in an Aga for, I should think, 20 years.
I can never remember which goes in where.
Never mind, look. A billing, a baby billing. That's all I had to cook with in Benghazi for large dinner parties full of generals. And I used to have all the pans on top of each other, you know, tilting like the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
I wonder where they all are. I suppose they're in the garden, don't you?
The Women's Institute. I've always rather revered them.
The SAS of British cookery?
Ah, hello, Clarissa.
How are
Oh,
you?
lovely to see you again.
And you. This is Jennifer.
Hello, Jennifer.
Famous Anthea. How nice to see you. Good morning, ladies.
Hello. Have a cup of coffee.
What a lovely day, isn't it? Hope it lasts for the fete.
We hope so too.
And that's the church. You raise lots of money for the restoration.
It's well worth it, too. It's a marvellous fun.
Beautiful.
Beautiful church.
Yeah.
What do you think will be the best things to cook on our cake stall? What do you think will sell the best? What should we cook?
Ginger cake's very good.
Is it?
And shortbread.
Mm-hmm. Do those.
They always go very well.
It's nothing too sweet. Not the buttercreams, I don't think, are so popular now.
Oh, right. That's interesting.
People regarding their diets, unlike us.
Unlike us. It is our duty to be bad.
I'm thinking of doing a rather good coffee cake.
That sounds delicious. Yes.
With walnuts.
Yes. With walnuts. It is rich, but I like it rich.
Forgive us, we better get on, but we'll see you all
Quite
later.
a lot of cakes to make.
Indeed we have.
We'll try anyway. Thank you very much anyway. And we'll see you soon.
See you later.
See you later.
Absolutely. Let's have a proper natter later.
Bye.
Okay. Whee, whee. Right.
Bye-bye. Bye.
I thought I would make a galette de roi, which is the French cake which they eat on the Feast of the Epiphany, the Feast of the Three Kings, or 12th night, call it what you will. It's a puff pastry case, top and bottom, and it's filled with a mixture of almonds, butter, sugar, eggs, and kirsch, and it's very delicious. And you put in it just one, either a ring or a bean or a tiny little figure resembling the Christ child. And the person who gets that piece of cake with the ring in it, he is declared king of the feast. And he wears the crown, which we will put on the cake. I'm going to start with the pastry. That's boring. You probably buy it anyway. So I'll be doing that, and Clarissa can do her cake.
I'm going to make a Yorkshire gingerbread. That's a nice dark gingerbread with black treacle. And I've just been lining and buttering this 8-inch tin. You really want to get it well greased. You know, did you see Last Tango in Paris? Something like that. I've got my butter here, and I'm going to cream into it some soft brown sugar. And the butter's nice and soft, so it should cream together quite easily. With most things, most cooking, you know, you can get away with things, you can get off easily, but with baking, you really have to be careful at every stage to get it right, to mix everything in well. Makes such a difference. Bakers are born, not made. But those of us who aren't born bakers can do the best we can. Now that's all beautifully creamed in. And now I'm going to add 3 eggs. And just so that the eggs don't curdle, I'm going to sift in a little flour between each one. And I'm going to break them in and mix them in between each one so that they're well mixed in. There we go, look at that. Use a bit of elbow grease, a bit of muscle. Put your shoulders into it. And now I've got this black treacle.
I love black treacle.
I love black treacle too. I used to eat it as a child. Did you eat it as a
Yes,
child?
always. I've even had a jelly made out of it.
Really? What was that like?
Black treacle jelly with clotted cream.
Oh,
wonderful.
Wonderful. Sounds marvellous. And now into my flour, I'm going to put some allspice, ground allspice, and some ginger, quite a lot of ginger, 2 tablespoons of ginger, because you want it to be nice and gingery, and a teaspoon of baking powder. Let's make it rise. And I'll mix that all together and then sift it into the mixture a bit at a time. And this time with a metal spoon. It's important with a metal spoon. It mixes much more efficiently than a wooden one. Look at that. Click, click, click.
Yum, yum, yum.
So good. I remember when I was a child and the cook was making gingerbread, I was always in there. I much preferred it to cake batters. My fingers in the bowl at every opportunity. Well, we can lick the bowl later when no one's looking.
I'd have a tiny taste.
Well, all right.
Yes, thanks. Haven't had it for years. Wonderful. Childhood.
Absolutely. There we are. Make sure it's all along the bottom of the tin. Good excuse to lick one's finger. And I'm just going to put it into the oven.
Now I've got my pastry rings ready, I'll make the filling. Butter, nice and soft. Get the sugar, pour all that in. It could be. That's the joy of having it really soft. If you leave it in the refrigerator, you'd go on for ages. Now, egg yolks. Don't worry, dear, I've saved the whites. We can have a face pack afterwards. We'll need one.
Oh, will they be so beautiful for the fete.
You mustn't laugh. Now, we've got to whip this in until it's nice and creamy. No, lovely. Now we put in ground almonds. You can get them in a packet, but it's much better if they're fresh and you do it yourself. But it takes but a moment in the processor. Now, a few drops of almond essence. Don't get something called almond flavouring. Get the real essence. Almond flavouring's disgusting. And this is about 3 tablespoons of kirsch. Just slop it in.
Kirsch. Oh, the wild cherry trees growing on the slopes of Egri-Vikavir.
You're getting off on one of your travel dreams.
I know.
Wonderful smell. That's all right. Now, we must put the filling in. We've got to put it in here, but leaving a rim of pastry so that we can stick them together. And now, we mustn't forget the ring, the surprise. And someone will get it.
Me.
Really ought to go to a child, but still.
Well.
Now we want to put the egg wash on so that the pastries will stick together. Just something to stick them. Like that. And we'll get this fellow. Try and get it to fit properly. That's about it. press it down. Then we do this thing called knocking it up.
You say knocking up to an American, they get very distressed.
You say many things to an American, they get very distressed. When it rises, it makes a sort of nice edging. Now we'll just do this bit of prettiness. Now I think we'll put a lattice over it, but use the back of the knife. You don't want to cut through the pastry because you don't want the filling coming up through it. There, I think that's fine.
Looks good.
Now, we must take it to the refrigerator and leave it there for 45 minutes to chill, and then I'll give it another egg wash on top before cooking it.
Oh, what a glorious day. England at its finest.
Yes, it's lovely. Hope it won't get too hot. No, I'm not fond of heat.
No, well, I don't think so. There's a bit of wind in the sky, isn't there?
A gentle zephyr.
We go up this way.
Where do we go from here?
We go down a little lane to the right.
Can't we take the bike?
No, the walk will do us good.
I'd forgotten how many bloody eggs we'd need for these cakes.
Well, look on the bright side. They'll be marvellously fresh from the farm.
Oh, Cabella Vista.
Peed in by every villager.
How far is it?
Oh, not far. They said it was just down here a bit.
You know what they're like in the country. They mean 5 miles.
No, Jennifer. Why have you bought your helmet anyway?
I brought it for the eggies.
So wise, dear. Ah! Hello.
Ah, we've been told you've got wonderful fresh eggs.
We have, yes. We've got plenty of those.
Good. We wanted some for some baking.
They're lovely for baking.
What do we do about it?
Well, if you'd like to go down to the bottom of the farmyard where the hen shed is and go and collect them and then come up to the farm shop.
Oh, really?
See you in a quarter of an hour or so.
Oh, that'd be wonderful.
Right.
We could just take them.
Please do, yes.
Oh, great.
Excellent. Oh, well, very exciting.
I've never done that before.
What? You gathered eggs?
Gathered my own eggs.
You haven't lived, Chook. Don't those Rhode Island Reds look good?
I think the wonderful cock is marvellous. Look at his wonderful tail feathers.
And that punk hairdo is brilliant.
Now, where do we get these eggs?
Well, why don't you go in the hen house, and then I'll look along these nesting boxes here.
And what are you going to do with your eggs?
Well, I could put them in my shirt or something.
You didn't bring anything, like a foolish virgin. Use your brusher. You could fill them with many eggs.
Jennifer, I'm not taking my underwear off in front of these poor innocent chickens. Say nothing of the cockerel.
They're not going to look.
Foolish virgin indeed. Aha! Lots of lovely eggs. What are you doing to those poor bloody chickens?
Get out! Get out! Go away!
So, but be nice to them.
But they're attacking me.
Nonsense. You're bigger than they are.
Yeah, but a lot of them, you know. Hitchcock and the birds.
Jennifer, that's Hollywood.
Only got one.
Look.
Oh, you've got lots. I'd rather buy them in the box, frankly.
Oh, Jennifer, how can you be so unromantic?
They were about to pick out my eyes.
Nonsense. Poor innocent little chooks.
They're not. They're known to be very vicious.
Jennifer!
Vicious.
You've got a new hat.
What do you mean?
You've got chicken feathers in your hair.
They're disgusting. Revolting. Your produce is good, but you are idiots. Let's get out of here. God, these cobbles are the last straw, dear. I am not going to walk back.
Oh, Jennifer, it's only a couple of miles.
Yeah, but you know I can't do it. I'm practically crippled by now. And the heat.
Well, I agree, it is a bit hot, and it was rather further than...
I'm not walking.
Well, what are you supposed to do if we don't walk back? We can't stay here forever.
I shall wait. Something will happen. You shouldn't have brought me this far.
Oh, I'll go and sort something out.
I'm sure you can find something.
Something? Good heavens, we're miles from anywhere.
Hey,
Look what I found!
Oh, that's wonderful. Will you give us a lift?
Yes, all the way to Allerton.
Oh, that's fantastic of you. A saviour come.
A divine intervention.
How marvellous. Is it out of your way?
No.
Oh, wonderful.
Right, give us the eggs then.
Yeah.
Well done.
Oh, what a relief. Thank you.
Up you come, Chucky.
Lovely.
Don't say I don't think of you.
No, you're a good girl. Good girl. I knew you would be.
Away to Allerton.
This is rather fun.
Isn't it nice?
Yeah, I love it. I think it's a very good form of transport.
Yes, it's great.
I could have a private one with a fringe around it.
I'm going to make a Danish prune and apple cake. And just in case you think it sounds healthy, don't be put off by that. It's very good. So I'm just going to make a nice smooth batter, which will be the base for all the other things I'm going to put on top of it. And I'm going to start by putting some butter in, then some sugar, and I'm going to break in 2 eggs, ground almonds, and tip those in, and some flour into which I've already mixed the baking powder. Put that in, it's already sieved. And then a little vanilla essence, a teaspoonful of vanilla essence, but I'm just going to use the lid to measure it in, because that's what I like to do. And some milk, pour that in. And I'm now going to mix all this up together. I'm going to make a lot of noise, dear, so you can carry on if you want.
And if you're going to make a noise, I'll make a noise too.
Oh, all right, be like that.
Then we can both get together. I've got to do these whites.
Wonderful toy this is.
A 1, a 2, a 3.
Give us a song.
It'll have to be the WIs, yeah.
Jerusalem.
And did those feet in ancient time walk upon England something?
Yes, Greek.
And anyway, I like the part that goes, bring me my bow of burnished gold, give me my arrows of desire.
I never understand why desire for the Women's Institute. Carry on.
Till we have been Jerusalem.
With more volume.
England, green and pleasant.
Bravo! And the batter's done to a turn. You carry on with yours, because I've just got to cut these apples.
I'm going to make a coffee and walnut cake, but it's also got chocolate in it. And what I'm doing at the moment is I've mixed icing sugar and egg yolks until they fall in a ribbon like that, you see? And then I add breadcrumbs, only about a tablespoonful, fresh breadcrumbs. Then we put in real coffee, real ground coffee, finely ground. And then real proper cocoa, not that drinking chocolate, real proper cocoa. Look how pretty.
Mmm, lovely. Good colour.
Now, these are all walnuts, chopped walnuts. In they go. Now that's all mixed together. Now then, we need to put the whites in. These are all just at soft peak stage. And we must fold those in. I'll put a spoonful in, just stir it in. That makes it easier to mix. Now we'll put the whole lot in. And fold them in the sort of figure of 8 is the best way. Take a little time, because that's quite a heavy mess in the middle to get the whites into. This is rather an interesting cake because it has no flour, and I think it comes from Poland, and it has a slightly bitter taste because of the walnuts and the neat coffee and the neat cocoa, and it's really for the grown-ups, I think. Though you never know with children nowadays. I think it'd be delicious eaten with some lovely iced coffee while you're reclining by a swimming pool.
What, in Poland?
You could be in Poland. Anyway, you can find a nice swimming pool. I don't know what they like in Poland. Now, we'll pour it in the tin, which is lined at the bottom with greaseproof paper that you've buttered, and just pour it all in. Finish it off with a spatula. Waste not, want not. Except Clarissa probably wants to lick the bowl.
Yes, well, I was thinking about that. But I suppose it's in a greater cause, the restoration of the church. I mean, who am I to compete? Ah, just a little left. A little bit left.
You can have the spatula.
Oh, thank you. How lovely.
Then I'll put this in the oven, and then I'll come back and do the icing.
Lovely.
Bon. On you go.
So there's my batter all beautifully mixed together. And I'm just going to put it into the lined and greased cake tin. And it's very important that you smooth it out on the bottom, because I'm going to put lots of other things on top of it. First of all, some prunes. These are nice, plump, juicy prunes. You don't get those sort of nasty things in tins and syrup. Go out and buy proper prunes. Not only will they keep you more regular, but they taste better. And now I've got here some walnuts and sugar that I've mixed together, and I'm just going to scatter a layer of those. And now, daintily, we're going to arrange some apple. You notice I've left the skins on. These nice green apples, and it's perfectly all right to leave the skins on. Helps them hold together. Don't use Golden Delicious.
They're no use, are they? No flavour.
No use to man or beast. It's extraordinary, you know, the way they breed flavour out of apples.
They breed flavour out of anything they can lay their hands on nowadays.
Well, that's very true.
Just to get them the right size. Who the hell cares?
Because I blame the Americans. They're so afraid of flavours. Strong flavours, strong emotions.
Not only the Americans. The Dutch breed every living morsel of taste out of them. There's huge tomatoes, all perfect in size. The carrots, when you leave them somewhere, turn into something like the monster from the Black Lagoon. It's a terrible goo. And there's no taste again. Or their machines. I mean, if it's Dutch, don't buy it. Sorry about that, except for other things. I mean, their eels are wonderful.
Anyway, that's me all ready for the oven. Look at that, very dainty.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Right, I'll go away and put it in.
Would you be a dear and bring me one of my cold cakes, then I can ice it?
The latest off your production line.
Surf.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
I'll just put it here, shall I?
Yeah, wonderful.
There you are.
Thank you.
So what have you got in that icing?
This is a mixture of softened butter, icing sugar, and an egg yolk. Mm-hmm. Just call me Miss Salmonella.
Yeah.
Now, the last thing I have to put in is this. It's instant coffee.
Instant coffee?
Instant, but it works with the icing sugar in some curious way, like camp coffee does.
Well,
it's all right in icing.
If you say so, darling.
I promise. Strange enough, it seems to resume a taste of coffee, which it never does if you drink it.
No.
Tastes more like oxo, I always think. Nearly done. That's all right. We just plop the whole lot on first. Now, as you've been dainty, I shall be dainty too. I shall spread it on. Try and get it even. Now for the dainties. Whirly, whirly, whirly. Whirly, whirly, whirly. Now just put this last little bit there. There we are. Squiggle. Yeah, that's fine, I think, don't you?
Looks lovely. Very good. Franklin. Like that?
Yes. It may have a gold ring in it. Be careful.
Can I help you to something?
It's usually eaten on Epiphany. This galette is delicious with a glass of kirsch.
Absolutely. They're gingerbread. They're Yorkshire gingerbread. They're made with molasses.
Gorgeous. Thank you.
Gingerbread is splendid, spread with unsalted butter.
It's very sticky.
Yes, if you promise to bring it back, you can have a spoon. Okay? There you are. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Make some very strong iced black coffee to drink with this cake.
Can I have some of the apple and prune?
Yes, of course.
Looks delicious.
Thank you very much. You
Thank
can
you
leave
very
the money
much.
in the jar. Serve plenty of double cream with this cake.
Hello, my puppet. What would you like now?
It's starting from
Daddy,
It's finished.
Oh, it's
That is
finished.
finished.
Oh,
Good. Thank you very much.
you.
Hope you enjoyed it, sir.
He's eaten 3 cakes.
I
that
know.
Splash. Yeah, 50p, thanks very much.
Maybe after I finish the burger.
Yeah, after you, all right then.
Shall we have a go?
Do you think so?
Okay.
Would you like to be danced to the sponge?
Lovely. Good shot. Well, we've made quite a lot of money, I think, for the church.
Oh, good. We can feel that we've added a brick or two.
That's right. Restored a stone.
Do you think that little boy, his tooth will be all right when he bit into the gold ring in the galette?
Oh, yes. It was probably only a milk tooth anyway, wasn't it?
He got a nasty chip out.
Anyway, I suppose we can wend our way home now.
Let's go back and have a bath and a large drink.
Well, I'll settle for the bath. You can have the huge drink.
I'll have a bath as well.
Yes, you can have a bath as well.
I need one. Further information about these receipts can be found on CFAX, page 612.
Way we live now.
Grab that crab, Clarissa. Eat that meat, Jennifer. Why doesn't that pheasant look pleasant? Fasten your taste buds for gastronomic ride, 'cause us 2 fat ladies are itching to get into your kitchen. Yeah! Oh, yes.
That's a goodie.
Hey-ho.
Hey. Hey, what wonderful monsters you've got.
Yes.
Aren't they splendid?
And look, I even found a shaggy ink cap.
Oh, they're lovely. I really find them delicious. And what else have you got?
Field mushrooms, hedgehogs, horse
Great.
mushrooms.
Here, I've got seps.
Lovely. Boletus edulus.
It's a good patch.
Still, we need some more, I think. Lovely. Make a fortune with these in Italy.
Oh, in London?
Nah, you're not allowed to sell them.
I found the lovely red one. Pink.
Don't touch it, Jennifer. Don't touch it. Fly agaric. It's beastly poisonous. I used to try and find them all the days of my childhood to poison my father with.
Did you succeed?
No, I never find them. I suppose the thing is with mushrooms, unless you specifically want to poison someone, if you don't know them, leave them alone. Oh, look, there's some more over there.
Yes, porcini. It'll be a feast.
What fun to go camping.
Hell treat. Do I really have to get into one of those nasty little tents?
Yes, of course. You have no spirit of adventure, Jennifer.
I have, but it's for the high seas and the ships and things like that. Not for crouching. I don't know how to put a tent up.
Well, it's all right. I've had lots of practice.
Old Tuffy. Old Tuffy.
Actually, I only came to camping late in life, you know. I never slept in a tent until I was 40, and I'm dedicated to it now.
All sorts.
Anyway, it's only a couple of miles till Kielder.
I don't mind how far it is. It's the actual lying on the ground in damp tents. Maybe I can make a getaway. Right, off we go.
Off to Kielder. Be prepared.
We're prepared.
The Scout Association.
And how?
Good old Baden Powell. Watch the washing.
Look at the towels.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Look at this. This is lovely.
Very bumpy here.
Hello, hello.
Yes. It's a most heavenly place, isn't it? It's magnificent. You love it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wonderful. What a view.
Ah, here's your Scoutmaster.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to our camp. We've put your mess tent up over here. Your own personal tents are down there.
Terrific.
Is there anything else you would like us to help with before we go off canoeing this afternoon?
Yes, please. Could I borrow some of your troop to dig a hole? It's not a very big hole. It's for cooking something.
Does not look as though they could dig a hole with the greatest of ease, I should think.
This is the sort of thing that the Polynesians used to cook human bodies in for cannibal feasts.
Long pig.
Long pig, exactly. We want to dig out this hole, and then we're going to fill it with stones, only we're not going to cook any passing human being. We're going to cook some fish in it, and then get it sort of fairly level at the bottom. Just get that bit of grass out. Put the stones as closely together as you can, and then we can light a fire on it. What happens is, you see, when you light the fire on it, you leave the fire to burn for a bit, and it heats up the stones, and it's actually the stones we're going to cook on, not the fire.
I've heard of crazy paving, but this is ridiculous.
Ah, right. Now, it's not for me to tell you experts how to build a fire. So could you build me a fire in that pit on top of the stones?
Rub two Boy Scouts together.
Shush.
This could be exhibited in the Tate. It's a great deal prettier than sort of half sheep in formaldehyde, isn't it?
Yeah. Now that's got to burn down for a couple of hours. Will you three be all right to sort of keep an eye on this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Lovely. Thanks very much. Best lure I've ever helped to make.
Good. Good. First one I've ever seen. I'm going to make a thing called a shooter's sandwich, which in fact is a hollowed out loaf stuffed with a great big thick bit of rump steak and delicious field mushrooms that if you're as lucky as we were, you picked that morning. You may think a big rump steak is expensive, but when you consider the amount of people it will feed in comparison to those sandwiches you get, which I mean can cost from £2 to £3 and are filthy, this is a much better bet. What I'm doing now is I've taken out most of the crumb from the inside of this loaf. I've cut a bit off, and I'm keeping that to put the lid on again afterwards. Now, what we want to do is we want to grill this fine piece of rump. You want the pan extremely hot because you want that char on the outside. It gives that very nice taste and makes it juicy within. I think it's... Yeah, it is. Try and get a first-class piece of rump, I would say. Slap that in. I should think about a minute on either side.
Yes, nothing nastier than overcooked steak, is there, really?
No, and it's terribly tough. It'd be horrible to eat. But one wants the rib, one wants the blood. You make your nice crisscrosses. You see? Lovely crisscrosses. It's not very good to season it beforehand. The salt is meant to sort of draw the blood or something.
That's right,
like
yes,
that.
no, it does. It makes it run.
I think that's all right now. Yeah, nice and crisp.
Oh, lovely, yes.
I'll plonk it there. And I'll just get rid of this for a moment, because it's going to splatter.
Put it on the floor, that's the best place for it, isn't it?
Well, fling it anywhere.
Great advantage of camping.
And then we'll season this well. Just leave that there to soak in a little bit. And I'll go and get my mushrooms to do.
Right, well, I'll get on with what I'm doing. And I'm making a dish called mutter char. My grandmother, who founded the family fortunes on her back by marrying 3 husbands, all of whom died happy and left her all their money, married as her second husband a man with the splendid name of Ezekiel Manasseh, a very illustrious Sephardic Jewish family from Calcutta. And when he went east, his mother sent with him a cook called Fazda, a black Jew from Cochin. And Fazda was famous in my family mythology for his breakfast eggs. And it took me until almost now to find that it was actually called mutter char, not Fazda's eggs. And what I've got here is some onions, which are just gilding in the pan. And I'm now going to add to them some tomatoes, some green chilies, chopped, and some mango, just sliced. You may think that this is not really a camping dish, but in fact you could use everything out of tins apart from the eggs. You could use tinned mangoes if you had to, but do try not to have them in syrup. Now the thing with mangoes, if you're buying fresh mangoes, you'll never buy them ripe, except occasionally in the Asian shops or down the market. And if you get them non-ripe, the thing to do is put them in a paper bag with overripe bananas and shut them in a dark cupboard or a drawer, and then they'll go and ripen. And I'm just going to let that cook down a bit.
Ravishing looking.
Doesn't it look pretty?
I like the sound of all those husbands.
Yes, Uncle Easy was a splendid man. And now I'm going to add to this some coconut milk and water, half and half.
How does it come about to be white? Because when you break open the coconut, it's not like that. It's more watery.
Oh, no, it's not the stuff that you find in the coconut. Coconut milk is you grate up the flesh of the coconut.
Of course you do.
And then you leave it to soak and you wring it out. Now, you see, look, it's already taking a golden colour from the mangoes. And I'm going to add half a teaspoonful each of turmeric, paprika, ground coriander, and salt. And stir that all in. Smelling good already. Now I've got some curry leaves. And what you want to do is you rub them between the palms of your hands just to release the fragrances, the oils, and then just scatter them in. And some fresh coriander. Just tear that in. There we are. Now, just turn this down a bit. And it's got to simmer for 10 minutes to thicken. What are you up to next?
I'm going to stuff my shooters. There, I think my mushroom's just about ready. But I tell you what, I never peel the mushrooms. I just give them a brush off, or a damp cloth, if necessary, you know, if there's a bit of muck on them.
Yes,
but the skin, I think, contains most of the flavour, don't you?
Yes, I do, I agree.
Now it's time to start stuffing the loaf. We'll get the steak. Now we'll put it in. Now we'll put the mushrooms in one by one. Take all the juices you can. another one. We'll make it all snug in there. Look, it's a wonderful sight. Isn't that great?
I'm hungry already.
Now I'm going to put the lid back. But first of all, I'm going to take the bit of crumb in the lid and collect all the remaining juices in the pan.
I'll have that bit.
There you wait, it's delicious. Look, black! Pop that in. Now we'll put its little lid on again. And I'm going to take it away, wrap it up, and weight it down well. Now I'm going to roll this up. I've got a layer of kitchen towel and greaseproof paper. They really ought to be wonderful sheets of white blotting paper. That's what they used to use. So this will do, I reckon. Now we take a long piece of string and secure the two ends.
Good practice for Christmas.
I'm rather good at Christmas parcels.
Ted, you've been taking lessons from the Scouts.
Now, that's secure enough for that, I think. I'll just lean on it a bit. Then we get a board, a heavy board. Lean on it again. And then a really heavy base saucepan. This fine object will do. And this we're going to leave for about 6 hours, so that it all crushes together and all the juices amalgamate and make the whole thing very delicious.
Can't wait to try.
So we'll have to wait a few hours for that. And what are you up to?
Well, this is reduced nicely now. Look at that colour. Isn't that a good colour?
Yeah, terrific.
Right, so now all I've got to do, I've just got to put the juice of half a lemon in.
It's a most extraordinary mixture, isn't it?
And now, here I've got my hard-boiled eggs. Beautifully boiled, not too hard.
Not too hard. I'm
No.
great one against them being too hard.
Oh, heaven forbid. You can break a raw egg into the mixture and poach it in the mixture if you want.
Yeah.
I think that's what they do in Cochin.
I'm glad to hear it.
But it's not what I'm going to do at Kildare.
And what would you have with it? Rice or something?
You could, or just really good bread to mop it up. It's a breakfast dish.
Oh, I see.
You have it for breakfast. There we are. And then once the eggs have warmed through, we can serve it up.
Delicious. Can't wait.
Well, I hope there are some fish in this lake. We haven't dug that lure in vain.
I hope so too.
Have you done much fishing?
No, not much. We'll pray to St. Peter.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
He's the fellow. I used to live a lot by the sea, and I remember once going out saying I was going to go fishing with a cousin of my own age. And what we did was we went down to the fishermen, and for about 6pence, we got about a dozen mackerel. And we brought them back with great pride and lied and said, "Look what we've caught at the end of the pier." Down in the meadow in the little fishy pool swam 3 little fishes and a mama fish too. Swim, said the mama fishy, swim if you can. Swam and they swam right over the dam. Hey, I think I've caught one.
Jennifer, look, I can see something down there. Well done! Nice little trout, look.
Dear St. Peter, thank you.
Yes, there you are. Oof, God.
You may have the pleasure of taking the hook out.
Oh, thank you. There. At least we have something to cook on the lure now.
And we must get some more with time.
Oh, yes. Anyway, St. Peter's doing you proud, so who knows? You may bring back a whole fleet.
A whole shoal of fishes.
That's right. The net was too heavy for them to carry it.
Lovely thought.
Look at these lovely trout that we've got. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some bracken on top. It's sort of damp, this bracken, so it's all right. Otherwise you have to damp it down a bit.
Very folksy, isn't it?
Frightfully folksy, yes. Now, they look pretty. A bit of thyme and salt and pepper.
Fine fellows.
So clever we are. Wrap them up, put them on.
It looks charming.
Bit more bracken over the top. You can use seaweed for this if you're by the sea.
Now that'd be nice. It would be flavoursome.
Very flavoursome. And then the towel,
the
Jennifer,
towel,
the
the
towel. Your great moment.
Would it be all right?
Yes, no,
Won't
it'll be
burn.
fine. No, the bracken's quite damp. When we come back, they'll be cooked.
Good. When? How long?
Oh, I don't know. About an hour or so.
For a fish?
Yeah.
Slow cooking.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's a bit delicious
Yeah.
and luscious. All the juices in there.
Great. Bravo, dear.
Thank you very much. Right. And away. Back to our chores.
Anyway, let's go and find a proper stove.
I love onion soup, don't you? And the great advantage of it is that even the seediest, most run-down of village shops, you will always find onions. This is a very good recipe for using up leftover Stilton. And what I've got softening here is some butter, and I'm just going to add some onions to it. They're perfect to take camping because they're terribly portable, and it doesn't really matter if they get wet. And you can just chop them up and make a big pot of onion soup. The colour of onion soup is a matter of caramelisation, and it's really entirely up to you. I don't like dark brown onion soup, but that's just me. Well, that's very good. I'm glad for you. Well, you're not getting it today. And so the darker you cook your onion, the darker your soup will be. And they'll take a bit of time to soften. Just keep stirring them while you're doing it. Lovely. I love the smell of cooking onion.
So do I, love it. Except when it's old, you know, when people are doing it in the street, and then it smells of old sweat.
Oh, yes, it does. Horrid, doesn't it?
Disgusting.
I remember once when I was at school, and my mother sent me a chicken, which wasn't sufficiently cooked. And so we cut it up and we put it in the electric kettle. And some idiot went and tipped in a packet of onion soup. Can you imagine the smell? I mean, you could smell it for days. This nun kept coming around going, "What is this funny smell?" Now I'm going to add some stock. This is stock mixed with beer. You can mix it with beer, you can mix it with wine, you can leave out the alcohol altogether if you like, but it's actually better with a bit of something just to give it a bit of oomph. And some thyme. Thyme is a lovely herb, and again, sort of readily findable. Just a bit of thyme, taste, not too much, or you kill the taste of the onion. And some salt. And pepper. Well, this will be yearning for its Stilton in about 15 minutes, and in the meantime, Jennifer will show you some dazzling tricks.
Hey presto! I'm back to my beloved Italy. I'm making a frittata, which is an Italian omelette. Very unlike the French omelette, which is cooked, you know, as quickly as possible. This is slow, and it's got a lot of vegetables in it. I'm using onions and tomatoes, but you can put anything you like in, you know, leftover courgettes, aubergines, olives, anchovies, anything you like. At the moment, what I'm doing is gently frying 2 pounds of onions. You may think that's a lot, but it renders down, and then I put some tomatoes in. It takes a long time. Those onions have taken, you know, 10 to 15 minutes to get this soft. This is about ready now. And I'm going to remove this to a bowl to cool off a bit. Also, there'll be quite a lot of juice, so squeeze it up against the side. You don't want it too sloppy. I'll just give this a wipe. Now we start the egg bit. Throw that on the ground as we have ground. Now I put about 2 ounces of butter in. Then we've got 6 eggs. Going to beat them. Just beat them well, but not frothy, not like a French omelette, just so they're very well mixed together. Then we want to put in the onions and the tomatoes. 2 tablespoonfuls of Parmesan cheese. Mix it all well together. And I better just have a taste. Yeah, I think that's enough salt and pepper. We can always add to it, we can't take it away. Get a handful of basil. I love that smell. And tear it in. Now mix that all together. Butter's melted. We want to pour all this into the hot frying pan. And we'll just smooth it out evenly so that it will cook nicely. And it'll take about 15 minutes on a very, very low gas. I mean, the lower the better, because you just want it to cook evenly right the way through. So you can carry on cooking.
But my soup's simmering away nicely now, so I'm going to add the Stilton. You can use Stilton rind for this, believe me, because I didn't believe it when I was told it. Grate up your old Stilton rind and put it in. But what I've got here is just some grated Stilton, and I'm going to put it in and leave it to cook down, melt into the soup. Then put a lid on and leave it for about another 15 minutes while I cook my croutons. And you can never have too many croutons. It's one of those rules of thumb. However many croutons you cook, it's never enough.
It's like bread sauce.
Absolutely.
Never enough.
I'll just test the oil.
There's an earwig. Never mind, go on.
Well, there's nothing like a little fried earwig.
Pop it in.
You can put garlic in with your croutons if you want.
I like the way you've left the crusts on. I love the crusts left on.
Do like a bit of body myself. If you don't have the oil hot enough, when you put your croutons in, they'll just go and take it all up, and you'll have greasy croutons and no oil. So that soup's beginning to smell now. Can you smell it? Really smelling nice.
Bubbly.
Yeah, but it's meant to bubble.
It's lovely.
Suddenly got it.
Good for the cold.
It is, actually. Onions are terribly good for you. Culpeper says, Culpeper in 1640 says, onions and garlic burn away the fat that grows round the heart.
Oh, they've always been considered very healthy.
I know, but it takes the medical profession that long to re-remember things, doesn't it? There we are, now those are done. All golden and lovely. And now all I have to do is wait for this soup to cook. So I think I'll come and bother you.
No bother at all, my dear. I'm just checking my frittata. Lovely. Do you see it's turning into a sort of solid cake? Still a bit gooey on top. I think I'll grill it for a moment. About half a minute should do it. It is, of course, absolutely delicious, cold, just cut into chunks. And that's how it's often eaten in Italy. The children are sent to school with a good wodge of it and a good bit of bread, and also the workmen take it in their little cans. I think that's it. There, that's just how it should look. Succulent and bubbly.
Perfect.
I went on a culinary course this week, so it's actually quite hard to translate everything.
Yeah, because Johnny, of course it can.
If you can't face these eggs for breakfast, try them for brunch.
With a bottle of whiskey waters and armed with this, you can travel from John of Grace to Land's End and cock a snook at both.
A total comfort dish after a long day.
Excellent any time, hot, cold or lukewarm.
Plenty of time for other activities while these are cooking.
to have sauce, please? Oh, this fish is quite nice actually. Guess what?
Ah, well, you look very splendid in that outfit. Very Parisian chic, your headdress.
I'm trying to cover myself from head to toe because of these terrible midges. This is my helmet bag.
No.
My helmet bag. I hate this camping. I don't understand what you see in it.
Well, it goes back a long way. My grandmother lived in a tent in her drawing room in Little Venice.
How very sensible of her to put it in a drawing room.
Yeah, she was Irish and very eccentric. It was after my grandfather died. She was never quite the same again. Well, I think one should abandon the midges and retire.
All right, then. Bedders for dit.
Quite so. I will light you to your slumbers.
Sweet Titania.
Right, well, sleep well.
Thank you very much, dear.
Not at all.
Let's return to a town soon. Further information about these receipts can be found on CFAX, page 612.
Good night, Jennifer.
Good night, Clarissa.